Look, I apologize for telling lies. For every night you stayed up and all the times you cried. Broken hearts on timelines, trapped in our confines. Love's a contract, signing blood on dotted lines. We perfect on the ground, but in person we a mess. All the filters in the world couldn't cover up this mess. We was goals to the people, but the love couldn't last. Posting pictures of the future, but we stuck in the past. We would argue every Friday, make up every Sunday, breaking up at midnight, back together Monday. Love is like a cycle, spin around on the runway, crashing every season, but taking off the same way. Say you want the truth, but you crumble when it's shown. You the type to break the windows and complain about the stone. See, I deleted all the text, but screenshots never lie. I was saying I was working, but I was really outside. I was caught up in the cycle, I can't seem to let it end. I was breaking every vow, but swearing all the men. I'm faithful on the gram, but a villain in the flesh. Two faces in the mirror, both toxic, both a mess.
I used to believe in you, hung on to every word you said. Thought it was me and you, but you had other plans instead. You couldn't stay true, you welcomed her into our bed. You must have lost your mind, you must be out your head, yeah. 'Cause you're a snake, you're a liar, I'll bring rain, I'll bring fire, and you won't know peace. Best believe it's heartbreak season. I'll bring rain and I'll bring fire, and you won't know peace. You won't know peace. You won't know peace. You won't know peace. No. You won't know peace. Best believe it's heartbreak season.
Bite. We back, Ratchet Gang. We back with another one. We back with another banger. Let's get the likes up. Look, you might have forgot. Hell, they might have forgot. But you already know it's the king. Too loyal, no, I'm talking about Ratchet TV. Hey, y'all already know, man. Y'all already know. Get the likes up if you in the building. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Tap that notification bell so you can get the drop whenever I drop. Alright, so boom. Man. We got to talk Ratchet Gang tonight. We got to chop it up. Tonight we are going to get into this Christian Kirk situation. We got to talk about this because I don't know if y'all follow me on Twitter, but I've been covering this since the beginning on Twitter. I even dropped the videos and showed y'all some other stuff, but I cannot show that type of stuff on here. So I posted that stuff on my Twitter. So if you got my Twitter, go to it and check it out. I did like, how many views that, let me see how many views that video got me on Twitter. Let's see. I dropped it yesterday as soon as this stuff went down. I've been covering it over there on Twitter as soon as this stuff went down. Let's see. That one video got me 28K, but then they put a sensitive content warning on it. So it was going viral. But then once it started getting too out there, that video I dropped, they put a content warning on there. So I don't even know if it's going through the algorithm like it was, but it was definitely, it was getting some traction. That's my highest viewed video over there on Twitter, as a matter of fact. So, but it's cool. Go to my Twitter and you can check some of those videos that I've been doing covering this. Salute to Linda, our soldier. I appreciate you, Linda, for that honey bun. Linda came through and dropped me off a whole honey bun. Salute to Linda. I appreciate you so much for that. Salute to Binky. Big Binky been a member for 45 months. She says, salute, Ratchet. Honey, I'm home. Salute to Big Binky. I appreciate you for being a member for 45 months. Y'all drop the flowers for Binky. Salute to Binky. I appreciate you. All right, that's a long time. So, what do y'all think? I did a question on the poll. I dropped a poll. I asked you a straight up question. Do you feel like this was a hit? Now, the way I'm going to cover this tonight, we're going to get into some of the events leading up to it. Of course, I'm not going to show you what actually happened to Charlie Kirk. Raise your hand if you already know what went on with him. If you saw the videos, drop the eyeballs if you have no idea what this is going on with this Charlie Kirk situation. Let me know. And if I say Christian Kirk at any point, I swear there's a football player named Christian Kirk, and I keep wanting to call him Christian Kirk. So if I slip up and say that, I've been saying it a few times. They're like, "Hey, Christian," I mean, Charlie. Shit, why the hell I keep calling him Christian? I'm like, who the hell is Christian Kirk? And I was like, no, he played for the Jaguars. I don't know why the hell I keep saying that, but drop the gems if you've already heard about Charlie and you know what's going on. Or raise your hand, drop the gem, something. Let me know, get my attention. Raise your hand, do something, or just drop the eyeballs if you have no idea what's going on and you just hear. Because he was assassinated yesterday. They took him out yesterday. But now, the way we're going to cover this, we're going to get into the events leading up to this, a little bit going on after this. Then we're going to be here for about over 3 hours. And I'll be real, this is probably going to be like a 3.5 hour show because I got a lot of stuff to talk about. So we're not going to be so heavy on just talking too much. We're going to get into some of this stuff, but then there's going to be a portion of this show where I'm going to go into the deep end. I'm going to kind of go into the realm that, I'm going to teeter that line on some exposing that we're going to do, because this is going to turn into a conversation about Israel. There's going to be some conversations about Israel, about some of the stuff that Charlie had going on, because it wasn't. Yeah, I get it. A lot of people are mad about this situation because of. They say he was racist. They say he did say a lot. I ain't gonna lie. He said a lot of wild stuff. But I think that he's like the white version of. I was gonna say Charlie. What the hell? I was gonna say he's the white version of Charleston White. To me, I mean, I would say that they probably look at Charleston White like we looked at him. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of stuff Charleston White said. So I would say that they're no different. Charlie and Charleston, what is the real big difference? You know what I'm saying? Other than he's like on a higher pedestal of politics, but I feel like Charleston does a lot of the same stuff, and I think Charleston actually goes a lot further than he goes. So if you, yeah, I mean, do I like some of the stuff he said? Of course not, but I don't like some of the stuff Charleston said. But I mean, I just look at it like, fam, this is the day and age. You just say shit and it goes viral. Everybody wants to go viral. They will say and do anything to keep that viral moment going. So yeah, I get it because I'm a content creator, but I definitely would not move the way a lot of these motherfuckers move. So let's just start right there. But anyway, needless to say, he was taken out. People want you to believe it was just somebody that just got mad over some things he was saying. Now look, people say stuff to us all the time. Now, that ain't the first racist person or the person that I've seen or heard making racist comments, and that damn sure ain't gonna be the last. That type of stuff don't move me. I mean, I'm not saying everybody got to think like me, but that type of stuff don't move me. You can't just be like, hey, you're an N-word with a hard ER, and I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna crash for all my ancestors. Nah, I'm gonna be like, but you're a goofy, and plus that word just means ignorant. So I mean, and your thoughts on me or my people don't affect me in no kind of way. I mean, we still gonna be us, man. I mean, to me, I feel like everybody want to be a part of our culture. You know what I'm saying? Is our culture fucked up? Hell yeah, it's definitely fucked up, and we definitely got to clean our own community up. But don't come knocking on our doors like y'all don't. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody just, and I'm just only talking to people like him. You definitely got a triple K that y'all ain't even addressed yet, and y'all still be acting like that shit ain't what it was and is and what it's gonna be. So let's just cut the bullshit and just say, man, look, everybody got to clean up at their own doorstep before you come sweeping up on my doorstep. Why don't you come? Let's look up under your rug and see what you got going on, because I guarantee some shit at your front door as well. So everybody community needs to be cleaned up, basically what I'm saying. So those words shouldn't affect nobody, because I mean, what is his view on anyone's community? I mean, who cares? That's just one person view with a big following. Okay, so all y'all feel that way. Okay, cool. So what's next? So I don't feel like it had nothing to do with that. That's not a motivation for someone to do what they did on some military sniper stuff and just jump on a roof and get face down as if they trained to do this, take off running right afterwards and got caught on camera. They know who the fuck did this. I don't give a damn what nobody talking about. Of course this is America. Come on. Let's just hypothetical. No, I'm not going to throw hypotheticals out there because I don't want no one to come knocking on my door for something. So I'm just going to say, let's just say you think of it in your head in the biggest places you could think of. If this had happened to anybody else, you put a name on it in the chat or do whatever you want. It could have been anybody. Boy, I'm talking about they would have had somebody. They would have had suspect after suspect. Their mama. They would have been at their mama crib. Their grandma. They would have been at their grandma grave site. They would have been everywhere they could possibly be if this had been anybody else. So they know. Come on, fam. We got the technology. Motherfucker was up on the roof. You got cameras all around that damn campus, all around everywhere over there. So you would have seen that motherfucker jump off. You would have seen him run and get into a car. You would have followed that car, street sign after street sign, corner after corner. You would have followed that car and know where that car landed, parked, whatever you want to call it. You would have knew in 3 hours who that was. Just like, so you telling me when 9 blank with those boom hitting those, you know what I'm saying, when it was flying the whoop-de-whoops and it was hitting the, yeah. So when you go back to that day, you knew exactly who did that shit. You know what I'm saying? You put that shit to, you saw that motherfucker just like that. You knew exactly, y'all. Matter of fact, it's crazy to say, y'all actually knew who they were before they got here. And you knew what they was talking about doing, allegedly. Look, allegedly, and everything I say is alleged, and it's all under the Fair Use Act. And you can see the Fair Use disclaimer in the description of this video and in the description of all my videos. This is just for entertainment and educational purposes only. This is just to educate my people on what we've been covering over here. Like I said, it's all under the Fair Use Act, and you can see the Fair Use disclaimer in the description of this video, and everything I say is alleged. Allegedly. So yeah, y'all already knew who them people was before that. You had them on a list and released the fact that you knew who they were. And I'm talking about 9 whoop whoop. You know what I'm saying? When it's flying that shit into them buildings, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. Yeah, y'all definitely already knew who them people was ahead of time. So let's just stop pretending like we ain't been finessing and whatever. All right, let's just cut the BS. So we got a lot to address tonight. And I'm talking about we got a lot to address. So are y'all ready to get this show started? Because I could be up here talking all night, man. I got so much on my mind when it comes to this situation. So basically what I'm trying to say is, let's stop being so emotional, guys. You're being fooled again. And they're trying to create a whole narrative and they're trying to make people go crash out and behind some shit they did, just like they did last time. They had you looking at people that they told you was up there doing that shit on them aircraft. So you start looking at a lot of people from a different complexion. You just start looking at them really different over this, because what they put in your, you know what I'm saying? They put something right there to tell you that this is the enemy. Woo-de-woo-de-woo. Now they already got an agenda. You see that the big guy in the big house and all of his colleagues are going at a certain group of letters. I'm speaking in code because I don't want nobody coming for me. So just understand what I'm not saying. So there's a group of letters, and y'all can say the stuff in the chat for the people that's in the back that can't really hear us all the way up here. You know, some people, elevators don't go all the way up. So some people in the back of the bus right now, they don't understand what we saying up here. So y'all just want to spell it out for some people in the chat, because I can't say the shit. So y'all can say it in the comments. But they going at a certain demographic of people, right? They're targeting, and I'm talking about the big guy in the big house. There's a big old color of my hat. There's a big old house. There's a big guy in there. You know what I'm saying? And they've been going at a certain group of people for a long time, and they trying to No, not the no. It starts. Come on, it's a letter, a group of letters. It's a group of letters. Y'all don't understand what I'm saying? Come on, y'all. Help me out, y'all. Say it in the chat. Man. No, not them. What the? No. Who is the big guy in the big house? Who has he been targeting? He's saying you ain't you. I don't want you people here. What is y'all? Come on, y'all not catching what I'm? No, none of y'all are getting it. Nobody understands what I'm saying. Y'all gonna make me just get in trouble with this group of people. None of y'all are saying it. It starts with an L. Let me help you out. It starts with an L. Y'all not catching, y'all not picking up what I'm putting down. It's a game going on behind the scenes. You see, there's a lot of mass attacks that involve assault rifles, right? There, has anybody said it yet? Nobody still has said it. Okay, there you go. Love is a vibration finally said it. L. Nicole finally said it. Belinda Scipio said it. Lady J. There you go. Now y'all catching up. Thank y'all. Okay, there we go. So they've been going at this group of people for a long time, right? But then on the flip side, there's then the name y'all name with the Dems, the Dems. We're gonna call them the Dems. So the Dems have been upset because they're pushing this. They're pushing this out. And you got the other people on the other side, the big guy in the big house is like, no. You're pushing that shit on us. We don't want that. We want to end all that. So there's a war going on because there's a lot of money that involves these group of letters. So you make this group happy, you're making more money. Then you got someone else over here saying, I'm going off of what God says. I'm going off of the Bible. I'm not with that. We're ending that. So you got these group of people who are like, fuck that. Then you got people over that control everything because we're just like puppets over here, allegedly. And there's people over there, which this is supposed to be the land of everything over there in this other group of people. I'm trying to hurry up so we can get to these videos. I'm trying to lay this out so y'all can understand where I'm going. There's a whole group out there that controls everything we got going on over here. And those group of people are the people that are supposed to be above everything. Do y'all understand? Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down now? Because these are the people that they're saying came and did what they did because of this war that's going on in between what we got going on. So they're like, you know what? Fuck that. We're fixing to move in. We're going to do something. So it's been up for a long time. The Dems have been on blood with these people. These people been on some, hey, we want peace type shit, but we will smoke all y'all out. So it's getting to a point where, hey, something is finna go on. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Man. So let's go ahead. All right, so I'm gonna slow it down for y'all while we watch the videos. How about that? By the time we end this live, everything that I was trying to say right now, you're gonna be like, I get what he was saying. Now I get it. So let's go ahead and chop it up about this content. Salute to everybody for pulling up. Make sure you double tap the screen and get the likes up for me. Make sure you just double tap the screen and get those likes up for me. We should be way past 300 likes. So salute to everybody for being here. Let's go ahead and get this content started. Did I just get a new membership? Salute to Tasha McNair Owens for that membership. I appreciate you, Tasha. Salute. And then hold on, we got who is this? Love is a vibration threw me $50. Salute to Love is a vibration. I appreciate that 50 piece, man. Y'all showing out tonight. It's gonna be a good show. Y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Hey, drop the gems if y'all ready. Let me know. Drop the gems right now in the chat while I get this video ready. Drop the gems. Fill this chat up with gems. We finna go up. Let's go. All right, so check this out, gang. Hold on. So let's go right here. Man. All right. Let me move this up. All right. So boom. Let's get started on this damn content, man. Let's get started on this content. Let's see what Trump had to say. It says Trump oh, my bad. Let me get my mic. Trump speaks out following Charlie Kirk's assassination in Utah. Says he is filled with grief and anger. There's never been anyone who was so respected by youth. Charlie was the best of Americans, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our country.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah.
Salute to Christy Reed for that $50. I appreciate you, Christy Reed. I appreciate you so much. Salute, salute. And Linda, thank you for those 5 memberships. Salute to Linda for those gifted memberships. Let's go.
Charlie inspired millions, and tonight all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth. Charlie was also a man of deep, deep faith, and we take comfort in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the 2 young, beloved children, and his entire family who he loved more than. To my great fellow Americans, I am filled.
Salute to CC Love for that $20. I appreciate you, CC. So what do y'all think this means? What is the next steps? Do y'all think Trump is going to have a reaction to this? Because this was like one of his right-hand men right here. This was one of his guys. So what do you guys think that Trump is going to retaliate, or y'all think he's just gonna chill? What do y'all think is gonna happen? What is his energy seeming like to y'all?
We ask God to watch over them in this terrible hour of heartache and pain. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever, to share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace. It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible. For years, those on the radical left, we ask God to watch over them in this terrible hour of heartache and pain. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever, to share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace. It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible.
So what do y'all think his energy? What do y'all think his energy is seeming like right now?
Like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now. My administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials, and everyone else who brings order to our country. From the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others, Americans like Charlie, to Nazis and many innocent people, and taken too many lives. Tonight, I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died. the values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God. Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country. An assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed, because together we will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations to come. Today, because of this heinous act, Charlie's voice has become bigger and grander than ever before, and it's not even close. May God bless his memory. May God watch over his family, and may God bless the United States of America.
So what do y'all think about Trump's message? He seems like he's very stern about what he's feeling right now. He seems very stern about what he's feeling, man. Let's continue. Let's go.
It's been 24 hours and they still ain't caught the guy that did Charlie. Something tells me they're gonna find him at a McDonald's with a manifesto and the murder weapon on him. By the way, did you guys see the new book drop yesterday? The shooting of Charlie Kirk? Look at this shit. University shooting explores the event from every angle.
So this book, there's a book on Amazon that came out, and it's called The Shooting of Charlie Kirk. The Shooting of Charlie Kirk. And it came out on the 9th. The book came out on the 9th. That's the crazy. It came out the day before. Then they tried to go redo it and make it out on the 10th. But now there's definitely a book that came out called The Shooting of Charlie Kirk. It came out on the 9th. They tried to edit it, but you could go back on the edit and see that it was edited, but it was actually dropped on the 9th. So how did you know 24 hours? And the crazy part about it is the first news outlet that actually broke the news was in Israel. And you can go back and fact check this and get the sources for who you can go on there and type in who is the first. I want the timestamps of every news outlet that released this news on Charlie Kirk. And it's going to give you a time frame with times on every single news outlet that released it. And the very first one was in Israel, the Jerusalem. I can't remember the name. I got the video on it, but it's the Jerusalem something. I can't remember. But anyway, they was the first ones to release this. But there's a book that came out. There's a book that came out that said the shooting of Charlie Sheen in Utah. It was a book about him getting shot in Utah on the 9th. They dropped this book on the 9th before he actually got shot. That's the crazy part.
The chaos on campus. The courageous. What the fuck? Here's a post that was on TikTok from 6 days ago. 6 days ago. And I'll just read.
So 6 days ago, there were people that were asking, like, what is this going on with Charlie Kirk? What? So 6 days ago, they was already giving everybody the drop that something was going to go on with him. Man.
Just read this tweet out to you from Harrison H. Smith. I'm not going to name names, but I was told by someone close to Charlie Kirk that Charlie thinks Israel will kill him if he turns against them. And now here's an interview that Charlie did with Megyn Kelly after his debate with Dave Smith in July. Have a listen.
Where, if, for example, if I have less ability sometimes online to criticize the Israeli government about backlash than actual Israelis do. It's
been
almost
so
as if
unfair. They were coming after you after Turning Point for, among other things, that you had Dave Smith there. Dave Smith isn't allowed to criticize Israel. But both sides, the Israeli side was overrepresented.
No, you're not allowed to. It's even worse than that. Like, I host a person that I moderate the debate of, mind you, right? And I give equal time to Josh Hammer, equal time to a pro-Israel advocate, and my moral character is being put into question. And so I think it's a hyper paranoid, like, we're just going to try to, we're going to just stamp out everything type of practice.
It's there's some rule you can't go there when it comes to Israel.
Well, you and I believe that we're Americans and Americans first, period. End of story. We are citizens of this nation, okay?
That's
and
right.
Israel We have funded, we have supported, not like we're gonna, but we're like, honestly, the way you are treating me is so repulsive. I have text messages, Megan, calling me an anti-Semite. But
salute to Binky for the $5. I appreciate you, Binky. Salute.
My moral character is now being put into question, Megan. Not my decisions, not like, hey, are you doing this? Is it smart or is it dumb? But no, I am a bad person if I do this. And I could go, I mean, you saw it, Megan. It was trending on Twitter, thousands of tweets and text messages.
It's offensive to those of us who have been out there defending them in many instances against critics on our own side. And now you have a couple of comments like, well,
it's been 24 hours and they still.
What do y'all think about that, man? That's just how I'm gonna start the show off, man. I'm talking about. I got some stuff for y'all tonight, man. I got some stuff for y'all tonight. We going down that rabbit hole tonight. And look, this is crazy that my computer automatically updates on anything that my computer automatically updates. So it gives me a different little background each day, and it just picked this one. I guess it's because, today is the day, right? But yeah, crazy work, right? So you can't make this shit up. So let's go ahead and get to this. Let's get to these videos. Give me a second while I go ahead and get to these videos. Man. Hold on. Let's get back up here. Oops, I think I missed one on my thing. Hold on, let me go to my downloads real quick. One of them didn't download out of the way. Give me 1 second, y'all. Hold on, where the hell is it at? All right, it's all good. Fuck it. It's all good. All right, let's go. Is this it?
I'm telling y'all right.
Oh, no. That's from the Mo3 shit. It should be over here. It should be starting right here.
I don't have a dog in this fight. Y'all know I don't talk politics or religion over here for no reason ever. But I will say this. Throughout my entire life, I realized slowly but surely things happen to make American people more and more desensitized to pretty much some of the worst things that could potentially happen. We hear about people getting shot all the time. We hear about people, dying all the time. You can even go on certain websites like Twitter or, certain other websites or whatever to actually see that shit happen. But to see a human being get shot in the neck, and everybody was speculating like, oh my God, he might have survived. No, the way that shit was coming out of his neck, bro, he was dead. Like, as soon as that thing touched him, he was out. He was done for. But to see this man get murked like that, and to see his body go limp.
Salute, TT. I appreciate you for the membership, TT.
Side. It's like human beings aren't supposed to see that shit. And you can bring up any other person that was publicly murdered for the world to see. Could be black, could be white, could be any fucking race of color. We shouldn't have seen those shits either, right? My thing is this. I truly believe, this is not a laughing matter, but I truly believe that society has done a tremendous job of desensitizing everybody to some of the wildest shit the human existence has to offer. You see what I'm saying? Like, the way a lot of people are making videos and saying what they're saying, feel how you feel. Who am I to tell you you're wrong? I don't even get into any of that shit. I'm just saying, bro, there are people who I dislike heavily. I don't want them to die.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Have y'all noticed that we have gotten desensitized to everything? People literally are cheering on, they want more blood, death. And I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? Somebody literally just got fatally shot. And the first thing you're gonna say is, thank God. Oh my, somebody had to do it. I'm like, what the fuck is it? What? Dang, y'all cold-blooded out here, dude. Man, I'm scared of this generation. I swear I am scared of this generation, bro.
You see what I'm saying? And then on top of that, I don't want to see them die. That's just me. I could dislike what you're saying. I could not want you to be doing what you're doing. I do not want to see you die. I don't even want to hear about you dying. The only death that I have fully accepted is my own. You see what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I accept the fact that everybody has a time, but I know for a fact I'm not gonna live forever. I understand that. I accept that. There's nothing I can do about that. It's like fucking taxes. We can do something about that, but there's nothing I can do about taxes right now. But again, to see a human being die in front of you, the people in that front row, traumatized, probably forever. So I'm not here to say your belief system is wrong. Feel how you feel. All I'm simply saying is that society, over the 33 years that I have been alive, has done a bang-up job with literally desensitizing people to fucking death. This is something that you should never see no shit like that.
What do y'all think about that, man? Do y'all think we've been desensitized to death, to all this stuff? It's getting crazy because we could literally just see anything, and all of a sudden we just be like, oh man, I'm glad it happened. I want to replay it. Send me the video. Send me the link. People be begging to see shit like that. So this is one of Charlie Kirk's people, someone he knew in real life, one of his friends. So let's chop it up. Let's see what she's talking about.
Charlie Kirk is dead, and I feel sick to my stomach. I knew Charlie Kirk personally long before who he is today, long before I became a model and do the work that I do today. I actually used to work in politics, and Charlie Kirk gave me my first big girl job at a little company called Turning Point USA as their one and only Black employee. It was a different time. I first and foremost want to say that I vehemently disagree with all of Charlie Kirk's antics and philosophies and political ideologies. I do not agree with that man on anything that he's been saying on this here internet. But there was a time where I was young and, I just got this job with benefits and, like still trying to figure myself out in the world. And I was often the only Black person in a lot of white spaces. And I remember when I was in training for this job, we used to all go to dinner together and like paid by Charlie. And one night during dinner, I was sitting across the dinner table from Charlie, and like another white girl was on the table, and she decided to bring up the topic of the Confederate flag. And she was like, oh, I just feel that the Confederate flag is not racist. It's my heritage. It's my culture. And, back then I wasn't very outspoken and vocal because I felt uncomfortable in some of these very white spaces. And it was at that moment that girl was basically trying to defend the Confederate flag that Charlie spoke up, and he said, no, the Confederate flag is racist. It was based on racism, and racism is wrong. And in that moment, I felt seen, I felt heard, I felt that I was welcomed at that table. That Charlie doing that for me made me feel like he was welcoming me a seat at the table with my difference of opinions and ideas. And my experience with Charlie Kirk, my personal experience, is that he was always kind, always a gentleman, stand-up guy. He even graciously thanked me for conversation at dinner with him and allowed me to speak freely. And, that's the person that I knew. And that's what I remember about Charlie Kirk. Now, this was years ago, years before the internet, years before social media, years before this was like what it is today. It wasn't like that when I was there. But I'm really disturbed that I watched this man that I knew, that I worked with, literally get shot in the neck and his blood and guts poured out of him, and his eyes rolled in the back of his head, and he slumped over. That I will never forget. That was horrible and really, really disturbing. And just to know that I was...
Salute TTD, which says, salute gang, great content. And I appreciate you, TT. I got a lot more. We just getting warmed up. We ain't even getting warm yet. We just starting the show. It's gonna be a crazy show tonight. So just stay tuned.
In this man's presence, eating dinner with this man, talking to this man, and he died on video. and all I did was open up this app and saw that is very traumatic. That's very traumatic. And I can't believe that like children are on this app seeing that, you know, people are watching this. And, you know, I just feel bad for his little girl who's gonna have to get married, walk down the aisle without her father being there, who's gonna have to go on her first date with a boy and her dad's not gonna be there to vet him, who's gonna go to prom and her dad's not gonna be there to take pictures of her when she's at prom. Like, you know, I'm such a daddy's girl, and I lost my father recently.
And she's basically feeling bad for his children and his wife he left behind. And I see somebody said she went looking for it. I'm gonna be honest. You don't got to go looking for that. When I got on Twitter, I'm talking about if I scrolled up 20 videos, 18 or 19 of them was that damn shooting. Or it was something involving him. My whole algorithm was completely filled with it. I couldn't not see it. I'm being serious. I couldn't not see it. It was everywhere.
And I can't imagine the pain that, you know, his daughter is going to go through in this life without her dad. And that makes me really sad. It makes me really sad. Sorry.
Remember, this is somebody that knew him, guys. This is somebody that actually knew him in real life.
I do want to say that like I am scared for America because I think that a lot of people have sacrificed their lives for us to have our freedoms and democracies that we have today. And the fact that we have freedom of speech in a lot of other places in the world doesn't have that. And, you know, it scares me because if Charlie Kirk, who's not a lawmaker, not a politician, not in a position to make or change laws, he's literally a political commentator, a social media influencer, speaking his mind. And again, I don't agree with his viewpoints at all. For him to speak his mind and get gunned down, what happens when anybody wants to speak their mind? You know, like, you know, people that don't agree with him speak their mind. They're getting gunned down too. Like, it's actually really scary. It's really, really terrifying. I just hope and pray that we get to keep our freedom of speech in America and not be afraid to be gunned down for them. You know, I want us to have the right to tell people that we disagree with them and that they're wrong without someone getting shot over it. And I'm so sorry for Charlie Kirk's children and family and everybody that knew him. And I'm sorry that I saw that video. Like, that will stay with me, you know? Yeah, that's all I have to say right now on that.
Man. So that was somebody that actually knew Charlie in real life, and she said she had good experiences with him being a black woman. So what do y'all think?
Charlie Kirk was...
What do y'all think about that? Let me know in the chat.
It's no angel. Charlie Kirk said horrible things about black women, about black people, about George Floyd, about diversity, equity, and inclusion. He said racist, horrible things. He said sexist things about women. Nobody's taking glee in Charlie Kirk's death. As a matter of fact, the opposite. I believe the president of the United States, if he's going to address the nation or give a statement, it should be about gun violence and how we stop gun violence, not to make a hero out of Charlie Kirk. And so we have to be honest about who Charlie Kirk was without taking glee in the horrible tragedy that befell him yesterday.
Children were killed in Colorado yesterday in another separate shooting, and Donald Trump hasn't made a statement about that. But when I listened to Donald Trump's statement that he did make, he didn't talk about, like you said, gun violence. He painted this glorious picture of Charlie Kirk, which you have already pointed out, is not accurate. And then he talked specifically about the radical left. The way that he's using this for political expediency, the way that he's addressing the nation when he doesn't address it for many other serious topics, the way he conveniently ignores everything to go immediately after Charlie Kirk was great and the radical left did this, the words that he is saying is inciting more violence.
What do y'all think? Do y'all agree with that? Is he inciting more violence? Is this going to be more violent? Do y'all think that he's making it more violent than it has to be? Do y'all think that everybody just wants to see some bloodshed right now? I think that there's a war going on between the left side and the right side, and I think somebody more powerful than each side has one side more than the other side's back. And I think it's very apparent that the person that controls everything, or the people who control everything, being they control the left and the right, and we don't got no control over shit. It seems like they really trying to get a certain someone right the fuck on up out of here. And I think we all know who they trying to get up out of here. They've made an attempt, and they even got his right-hand man the other day. I think that something bad is going to end up happening, man. Let's go.
Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Let's just start there. But this whole situation might have a rabbit hole deeper than everybody knows. Let's start with this. The man that they first arrested allegedly said that he was the person that did it. This guy right here, they take him back to the station, they question him, and they figure out that he's not the person that did it. Okay.
So y'all telling me this is America, and this is the military, secret service, whatever you got out there. Y'all telling me they didn't have the right. When the fuck did they ever, when this happened to the big guy in the big house, when they grazed his ear, boy, they had that suspect lined up so motherfucking quick, knew which direction he went in, knew which way they knew which direction he was sleeping the night before. Shit, they didn't have no problem finding that dude. You telling me they gonna grab the wrong dude? That old man, you know damn well that man didn't do that. Like, you think that man had a sniper on him? Where did that was a? But when you do your research on who that man was that they arrested, you see that man is from Israel. It gets deep, y'all. I'm telling you, the rabbit hole gets deeper when you see that the person that they originally arrested and did like that, detained or whatever you want to say, that guy is from Israel. We're going to get into that later. Let's go.
They get another suspect, take him to the station, question him, and they find out that he's not the person that did it. And then they say whoever did it had to be maybe a college student. And not saying that a college student couldn't do this, but whoever did this was a professional. One shot, and was confident enough to know that that one shot was the only shot that he needed. That's not the work of a college student.
And look, let's be honest. The average person don't know how to work a sniper rifle, bro. Like, at 200 yards, like that, I mean, it might not sound, that's 2 football fields though, dog. Like, that's a long distance to know the accuracy of a shot and how you have to strategically shoot a sniper in a direction that you don't just aim it straight. You gotta, you know what I'm saying, do them snipers. The average person don't even got a sniper rifle. Let's just start there. The average person ain't got no damn sniper rifle in their closet. Who the hell walking around with sniper rifles? Man, that dude was a shooter. And I ain't talking about like a shooter that hop out of these goofy ass cars in Jacksonville or something. No. We talking about a shooter. This motherfucker went to war. He was trained to do this. He was trained how to take someone's life just like that, man. Look, that was a well thought out plan that they got away with it too, boy.
That's the work of a professional. And then they release this picture. Look at this shit. They're saying that they have video footage of this man right here, and they're saying that this man, they believe that this man is the shooter. Does this man look like a college student to you? Mind you, they're saying that they recovered the weapon too. Matter of fact, listen to this shit.
We have recovered what we believe is the weapon that was used in yesterday's shooting. It is a high-powered bolt-action rifle. That rifle was recovered in a wooded area where the shooter had fled. The FBI laboratory will be analyzing this weapon.
Did y'all hear what he said? Listen to this again.
That rifle was recovered in a wooded area where the shooter had fled.
Now, let's be honest. The average person who just does something dumb and tries to get away with it, they're going to jump in a car. They're going to do something that's going to get them caught on cameras. And at some point, they're not going to get away with it. They're going to fuck up. Who the fuck goes into the wilderness? Nigga, this was a trained sniper. Who the hell just going to go into the woods? A wooded area. Who does that? Don't know. The average person not going into the woods. The average person finna try to go home and do some dumb shit, and the police gonna pull right up to their crib. This dude went straight to a helicopter somewhere. He gone.
The FBI laboratory will be analyzing with this weapon. Investigators have also collected footwear impression, a palm print, and forearm imprints for analysis.
So they have a palm print, a footprint, and other evidence. Do you think they're gonna find this man? They have footage from every angle in that place. You can find it. All you gotta do is jump in that search bar. You can see how Charlie got hit every single way. You can see how people's reactions were. You can see the man that was in the crowd that was laughing. You can see Charlie's security making moves on the side of him. You can see a lot of things. Mind you, they have footage of somebody climbing up to the roof. They have footage of somebody on the roof. And let's go back to the beginning, right? You had a person that said that he actually did this thing. They arrested him. You seen the video in the beginning. Why would that man say that? That's something you got to think about. All I can say is this rabbit hole is going to run deep. I'll say this, and I'll leave this here. Something ain't right about this. Tell me what you think. I'm out.
Something definitely ain't right about this. And I went down this rabbit hole, and we're going to go over this stuff tonight, but y'all going to be like, Ratchet, where are you taking us? Because, man, this rabbit hole I'm going to take us to is deep.
Charlie Kirk was shot by somebody that definitely knew what they were doing. That was a military grade shot. The precision on that shot, especially with how low that tint was immaculate. I hate to say it like that, but at the same time, from so many yards, that was at least 200 yards away. And did you notice how windy it was? To fire such a precise shot at 200 or so yards away in those weather conditions, and to directly be able to hit Charlie in his carotid artery, I mean literally, you saw it. I'm telling you right now, and he probably didn't even realize it. Like, it's not even about being hit in the neck. That shot had one and only one intention. I mean, as soon as I saw the posturing, which I think is called decoding posturing or some shit like that, I knew it was over in seconds. I mean, you could tell from the velocity of the round and how much force that it had on impact. I mean, did you see the shockwave? I'm sorry if this is too much, but from looking at that shockwave, it probably liquefied the spine. Either way, there was sadly no coming out of this. I would never wish this on anybody. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. But what I find suspicious is how quickly a certain somebody made an announcement about it. Not just that, but did anybody look at his hands and his mouth movements while he was making this announcement? It's not actually that hard to analyze it with ChatGPT or other AI models. So that in itself has me questioning, what the fuck is really going on here?
Ooh, that was a good... Listen to this again, gang, because we just watched somebody make an announcement, and I seen a couple people like, man, that's AI. I'm just saying, fam, something ain't right. And something is major is about to take place.
What I find suspicious is how quickly a certain somebody made an announcement about it. Not just that, but did anybody look at his hands and his mouth movements while he was making this announcement? It's not actually that hard to analyze it with ChatGPT or other AI models. So that in itself has me questioning, what the fuck is really going on here? I mean, a couple of days ago, Charlie Kirk had a special little interview with Ben Shapiro. I'm sure everybody's aware of it by now. And I didn't think that he would actually do it, but he did it. He brought up a lot of very, let's just say, sensitive topics. You should know what's going to happen if you have a platform that big, but my only question is, why didn't you do that earlier? I feel bad for Charlie's family, and I wouldn't want to say that you reap what you sow, but at the same exact time, to feel empathy, or to feel like I have to feel empathy for an individual that pushed out a narrative of so much forceful hate, degradation, division. I mean, you fucking name it. Honestly, I would even consider him to be the top advocate. That's how much influence that man had. At 31 years old, might I mention. Watch what's about to happen in all of these big cities. See, If one way doesn't work, there's always going to be another way. And do you know why? Because there's two sides to the same exact coin. And I think Charlie, right in the midst of all these Mercury retrogrades, was finally coming to the realization that, wow, maybe I'm not on the right side. But majority of you are not prepared for what's coming next, especially in these big cities, especially in these big blue cities, might I mention. Why do you think a certain little special movie came out last year? Regardless of what happened to Charlie, this should be a prime example of how much that we have truly divided ourselves in this country. Why are we not taking notes from Nepal? Why are we not taking notes from Indonesia? And do you know how contradicting it is to cheer for somebody's death? Especially when you chose to cheer for somebody else's death? Can we stop convincing our egos that we're not just some pawns that are being used in this chess game of deception? Or do you like living in that comfortable little privileged reality of where you assume that you have it all figured out? I can't stand how many people still watch mainstream news networks. Like, what the fuck are we doing? When it comes down to it, the reality of all this is that the same exact motherfucking thing can happen to you. You think you have freedom? Just wait and see what this incident with Charlie Kirk does to every single one of you. Watch everything that you have to defend yourself slowly, not even slowly,
Oh yeah. They finna come for him.
Actually disappear. So what will you have left when shit finally pops the fuck off? You'll only have each other. Wow. Or will you? I guess we will wait and see. It's only days away anyway, so whatever happens is meant to happen.
Yeah, they finna take everybody weapons, bro. Martial law is coming. They gonna push it on everybody. Look, man, one way or another, you gonna get down and you gonna lay down. I'm telling y'all that they're trying to make this the last go around for a lot of politic shit. So let's go, man. Let's go.
I still have Facebook, and I think it's interesting that some of the people that are on there I've been friends with for years. They are literally posting things like, I don't care if I've known you for 20 years. If you say anything bad about Charlie Kirk, then you can just defriend me now. These people don't know Charlie Kirk personally, but it's interesting that they have this kind of energy for a person like him, but they don't have the same energy for the same mass pew-pewing at the Colorado school that happened on the same day. They have this type of energy for somebody who would call out Charlie Kirk for the things that he has been saying, the hate that he has been stoking, the environment that makes us all more unsafe, himself included. They have energy for the people calling out that, but not energy for the things that he has said. Not one of them has come out saying that, oh, perhaps he shouldn't have said that unalivings are worth it to keep the Second Amendment. I personally wonder if he was still thinking that way at the end. Was his life worth it? I would venture to say not, and I don't even like the guy. But this is a guy who would say that people like Joy Reid or Ketanji Brown Jackson took white jobs via affirmative action because Black women do not have the brain capacity for higher paying and high educational jobs. Same guy. This is the same guy who looked at someone in his audience who said that he was called the N-word all the time, looked at that boy in the eye and said, I think you're lying. This is the same guy who looked a girl in the face and told this girl that he would make his 10-year-old daughter have a child if she was essayed. Same guy. The same guy who said that Black people shouldn't get reparations because they have had 150 years and they are only where they are because of their bad choices. But if you guys have been rolling with me for a while, you know that I have a video explaining exactly what happened to those Black towns that pulled themselves up by the bootstraps he's talking about. And yes, I do have a clip of him saying all of these things that I will be attaching to my YT and my Substack video. So if you don't follow me on YT or on Substack, then go and follow me there and you'll get the clips of him saying all of these things and more at the end of that video. But I think everybody is running away from a very teachable moment here. This is a very teachable moment. And a lot of people would much rather dig deep into their prejudices, their hatred, their bigotry, instead of actually learning from the moment. Right before Charlie Kirk was unalived, seconds before it happened, they were talking about mass pew-pewings around the country, demonizing Black people and trans people in his last moments of life, while most likely the person that ended him looked like him, as they always do. I am a firm believer that you get back what you put into the world. And his stance on sacrificing our children for a hobby while also claiming to be pro-life, how is it that you are so pro-life that you would force your 10-year-old to have a kid, but you won't save that 10-year-old or the kid that she has from a pew-pew at a school? When does the sanctity of life end for you? That's a question for Republicans in general. You cannot be pro-life. And you cannot be so pro-life that you would torture a 10-year-old with childbirth and then not care if that same 10-year-old or the child she birthed is unalived in a school. It doesn't make sense. There is no universe, no timeline where that actually works. People have been quiet about everything else that has been going on. The unaliving of political figures on the left, people being kidnapped off the street by the frozen people, sending our military against its own citizens, against our Constitution that they say they know. They probably know it and love it as well as they know their Bible that they don't read. They are silent about the perpetuation of racism from this same guy, about the sexism and the homophobia, the transphobia from this same guy. They are silent about the lives that have potentially been lost because of his rhetoric. But then they want us to sing his praises when the karma that he put out boomerangs back to him. It doesn't work that way. People like Charlie Kirk lack foresight. As he was making those statements about how unalivings were worth it to preserve the Second Amendment, I bet you he did not think that that would be his end. I bet he only thought that it would happen to other people. And that is the difference. When I fight for common sense legislation, I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for the Charlie Kirks of the world. I'm doing it for the people I don't know. If you are the type of person who only cares when it's you or your friends or people that you know who is affected, and you call yourself a Christian and you don't care about the people that you don't know, you don't fight for the people that you don't know, you've got some splaining to do, or you will, because you lack foresight. You don't even understand that giving other people their rights ensures that you have rights. When Black people fought and they gained civil rights and things like voting rights and affirmative action and diversity, equity.
Hey, is she dropping gems, gang? Let me know. Is she dropping gems?
Inclusion and accessibility were created. That didn't just affect Black people. We are the least of the recipients for these laws. We fought for other people to have rights. The people who didn't even take to the streets with us benefited from our actions. And it's the same now. When we fight for legislation, it doesn't just affect us, we're fighting for you as well. When people on the left fight for common sense legislation, SNAP, healthcare, our farmers, it doesn't just affect us on the left. The people on the right also get the benefit. And they fight so hard against the people on the left with these stupid social issues that have nothing to do with them while they are reaping the economic benefits of left policies until they're not. People are hurting right now. The right has gotten their way. They have passed legislation, ended contracts, losing jobs. Our farmers are going under in multiple states. We are losing allies, partnerships. Other countries are stopping their exports to us. We are hurting. Veterans are losing their health care and their mental health care. Children are losing access to food. People are being unhoused. The Republicans, MAGA, Bone Spurs, they are making a lot of people angry, and not all of them on the left. But Charlie Kirk did do something against the right. He was calling for the release of the E-Man files. And with his influence, the momentum was building. Charlie Kirk's unaliving, as public and grotesque as it was, served two purposes. The first, the news shifted from the E-Man files to him. The second, it united the right again against the left and made them forget in their emotional rage to be angry about the E-Man files. But Charlie Kirk didn't like empathy. He said, I hate empathy. I think it's dangerous. And I prefer to honor his wishes. I feel like we all should do the same.
That was really deep, and how she put that at the end. And no one is talking about those files being released anymore. They done got him up out the way now. All the focus is on him. They ain't got to say a damn word about no files now. Keep it a buck.
This is literally driving me insane. I'm going to tell you what that is. All over social media right now, there are videos of Charlie Kirk's death, people that are slowing down the videos and analyzing them. And I have seen multiple talking about this dark spot on Charlie Kirk's shirt and how it moves when he gets shot. There are people claiming that this is blood, that it's a blood bag, and just overall questioning what it is and why it's moving across his shirt when he gets shot. I believe that this is a secondary microphone, and I'm going to show you why. If you go to Charlie Kirk's social media profile, you look at some of his other videos when he's speaking on college campuses, he always has a secondary microphone that's clipped to his shirt. This is another one, so you can see it's like a little black square. And in this video, he was actually using a professional Rode microphone. This one is a square, but it also has a little puff at the end. That's a microphone like this. They're squares. There are also lots of different styles that you can use. And depending on the microphone, they attach attach to your clothing differently. They could have clips on them, they could be magnetic, all going to be different depending on the style. And it's not uncommon for people who are doing speaking engagements to have a main microphone and then a secondary microphone where they can use the audio from that mic for their social media videos. So as far as like why it's moving across his shirt, it's likely because it's attached to his shirt in some way, and the impact from getting hit and then the recoiling, wherever that microphone is attached, may have come loose and just went all over. I don't think it's blood. I don't think it's a blood bag. I think it's just a secondary microphone.
What do y'all think, man? What do y'all think? What do y'all think? I don't know, man. Some people have been trying to question that, but look, I don't think that there's nothing fake about his death. I think it was very much real.
The way the left is responding to the death of Charlie Kirk is showing the entire world what you guys are truly about, how psychotic you guys really are. MSNBC just fired Matthew Dowd after live on TV, he indicated that somehow Charlie Kirk was responsible for his death because of words. He was responsible for his death because of words. Then TMZ, while they're live, they announce Charlie Kirk's death, and you can hear in the background people clapping. And because they instantly got this backlash, they came back on and said, oh no, that's not what they were cheering about. It was some car chase they were watching. Absolute horseshit. We are not believing this bullshit that this leftist media group always perpetuates whenever they mess up and they lose some type of followers. We need to start holding these people accountable. The host that was sitting there agreeing with Matthew Dowd on MSNBC, that was agreeing with everything, she should be fired too. TMZ should be boycotted. Don't watch them. They're a bunch of leftist lunatics. The people that are getting on here and they're celebrating the fact that a husband, a father, an entrepreneur, a follower of Christ, a good human being, a man that if he was dating your daughter and he came over, you would thank God that she was dating a good man like that. That's the type of man that these people are celebrating dying. Why? Because he said words that you disagreed with. And let's just analyze the words, because a lot of people are like, everything he was saying was so inflammatory. Explain to me what's inflammatory about putting Jesus first. Explain to me what's inflammatory about black people not being victims, and that black on black crime is a serious problem in the black community. That single fatherhood is the number one reason that people commit crimes. That if you're a man, you're a man. And if you're a woman, you're a woman. And that it is not fluid. And you know how I know that? Because if you're watching this video, guess what? You were born from a biological woman. None of that is inflammatory. It's only inflammatory if you're so wrapped up in your identity that you can't look past that and digest facts. You just have to listen to the ideology that's been taught to you at these universities that want you to hate the government. They want you to be a victim. They want to continue getting the money from the government because you're a victim and you need help. And we just need to dump more resources into your community to help you. No, how about we practice what Charlie Kirk was preaching, which is accountability, that you are accountable for your actions, that put Jesus Christ first, that believe in God, that put fathers back in the home, that stop incentivizing this criminal behavior, that stop getting behind Democrats that don't give a shit about you. These leftist lunatics that keep showing the world what they're truly about. And then in an astonishing event, the House Speaker Johnson asked for a moment of silence at the news of Charlie Kirk passing away. 1 minute of silence, just 1 minute. Democrats literally can be heard screaming and shouting no. Meanwhile, you'll link up in arms over a criminal when he dies. Or you'll get behind illegal immigration. It's called illegal for a reason. There isn't a country in the world that doesn't have borders. But somehow, here in America, it's wrong to have borders. Everything Charlie Kirk was saying was backed by facts. And if you brought something to him that challenged it, he would sit there and listen to you. How is that wrong? How is that inflammatory? What is something that he said that was so inflammatory that the man deserved to die?
I want to look at everyone's take. So I'm going to be going over everyone's take, and then we're going to go in a deep dive here in just a minute. This is just, remember, this is just the first portion of the show, because we're going to go on a deep dive that's going to have y'all like, what in the fuck are you getting us into, Ratchet?
Oh, they're pissed. They are pissed. This whole Charlie Kirk thing might actually have sparked some crazy shit. Cause watch this.
This is such bullshit. I've never been so pissed in my whole life. I just murdered Charlie Kirk right here in Utah. I'm so freaking pissed right now. This is bullshit. I just saw blood going down his neck. I love that guy.
Pissed. This whole Charlie Kirk thing might actually have sparked some crazy shit. Cause watch this.
This is such bullshit. I've never been so pissed in my whole life. I just murdered Charlie Kirk right here in Utah. I'm so freaking pissed right now. This is bullshit. I just saw blood going down his neck. I love that guy. He would have been our next president. I am so pissed right now. Why the hell is coming fucking violence? Gosh damn it. Use some freaking words in there talking to you people. Who shot Charlie Kirk? I'm driving in a problem right now. I'm so pissed. Damn it.
This shit might have actually sparked something. I read a comment yesterday that said this might be a modern JFK. And I'm like, hey, I don't know if it's gonna go that far, but God damn it, maybe. And he's not the only one. I saw a couple of videos like this. And in every single one of them, they said we're gonna go get them. That means they're not just going for this one guy that did it, which is probably a Republican, by the way. They're gonna come for every liberal, leftist, progressive. That's what they means to me. A group of people is what they mean. They're not going by the gender thing. They're talking about a group of people. They've been dancing around the word civil war for years. Maybe because of this now, they're not playing. What do y'all think of this? Comment below, let me know. And I'll see you in the comment section.
I'm telling y'all, something big is about to take place. Paul says, thanks for covering this, Ratchet TV. Salute to you, Paul. Thank you for the $2. Thank you so much. Yeah, man, I think that we're about to have another kind of war on our hands, man. What do y'all think, man? Am I reaching, or do y'all think something finna pop off? What do y'all think? Let's continue.
Charlie Kirk assassination was orchestrated on the highest level. I hear a lot of people on TikTok and on social media talking about the bullet came from a high building 200 yards away from a high-powered rifle. You guys do know the high building wasn't the only thing that the person was on when they pulled the trigger. It was also orchestrated on the highest level. The person who pulled the trigger was not a regular person like you and me. The person who pulled the trigger was highly skilled, highly trained. This was already planned. Charlie Kirk's birthday is September 14th. Today is September 11th. 3 days before his birthday, 1 day before 9/11. That means one down, two more to go. Who the next two is, we don't know. But I'm sure we'll...
Hold on, let's listen to that again, gang. That just gave me chills. Listen to this again.
Charlie Kirk's birthday is September 14th. Today is September 11th. 3 days before his birthday, 1 day before 9/11. That means one down, two more to go. Who the next two is, we don't know. But I'm sure we will either hear about it or we won't hear about it. That bullet that took Charlie Kirk's life passed through thousands, you guys hear me? Thousands of people. Charlie Kirk was sitting under a tent while thousands of people, children, students, was exposed. And that bullet missed all those people and hit his mark in the neck. The person who pulled the trigger knew what they were doing. This was planned. We don't know if it's ever going to come out the truth. But in my opinion, do I think that they're actually looking for the person? I honestly don't think they're looking for the person.
I don't think they're looking for the person either. I think that look, this is America. And we're talking about someone getting taken out you could say he's someone affiliated with the higher ups. Charlie Kirk wasn't just an average person like me and you. He definitely was deep into politics. Like you've seen some dudes saying that he was going to be a future president. He was a big deal. So to take out somebody like that and them to not even know what the fuck is going on is kind of weird. Because when it happens to anybody else in that type of atmosphere, look what happened with the CEO. Well, they picked up this dude at McDonald's with all and I don't even believe that story, but they picked up the dude at the McDonald's with all this stuff on him. I think something like that gonna pop off. They're just gonna pick some random person and say, oh, we got all the evidence right here with him. He still had the gloves. And it's like, shut up, man. This is whoever the fuck that was on that roof. That motherfucker is back to whatever country he came from. I don't even believe that motherfucker lived out here. I think that is somebody they sent a marksman over here. I think there's somebody from the higher ups over there to start with an I. I think they sent a marksman down here and got him the fuck up out the way. And they finna get a few more people up out the way. I think they just finna take action and they just finna smoke it out at this point.
They grabbed someone that they thought was the person, but it wasn't the person. I personally think it was a diversion to make everybody think that they had the person so that the other person could get away. There's only two people in this world who have Secret Service. That's the president and the vice president of the United States of America. So I see a lot of videos on here of people laughing, making light of the situation, regardless of what the man represented or what he stood for. He was still a father. He was still a family man. Something that people complain about, there not being enough family men in this world. And for people to think that it's okay for a family man, a husband, a father of two children, to have his life taken in such a heinous way because he was giving his opinion. Y'all sick, man. Y'all sick. People give their opinion every single day about different topics. People troll people's accounts every day, giving their opinions, being rude and disrespectful. But what gives a person the right to take someone's life because they're giving an opinion? This tells me that Charlie Kirk made multiple people nervous. He made multiple people nervous. This man lost his life the day before 9/11. Think about that, guys. Let that sink in for a second. And it happened in front of thousands. Thousands of people that's going to be traumatized for the rest of their lives. And we spreading all this disrespect all over the internet. For what? You could be next. Any of us could be next. My question is, who are the next two people? We know what's going to happen. Charlie Kirk was so publicized because of the thousands of people who was right there. There's more to the story, guys. There's a lot more story. There's a lot more to the story. Like I said at the beginning of this video, this was organized on the highest level. The highest level. You guys let me know what you think and share this video.
Do you guys think that was an organized hit? What do you guys think? Was that an organized hit? Let me know in the chat.
I hope when this is all over, you remember who fired first.
Republicans.
You've tried to kill the president twice.
Republican.
And now you've assassinated a man for talking.
I don't know who that is.
You don't really want to do this, okay? 400 million plus firearms in this country. They don't belong to the left, bro.
You see, I'm confused by this video because you said you tried to kill the president twice. Who shot first? Well, that was a Republican. But then you're going on and mentioning Charlie Kirk and insinuating that that's a Democrat when we don't know who that is. And then you go on to say that liberals don't have guns. So we don't have guns, but we shot everybody. But it was Republicans that tried to shoot Trump. I'm really starting to think y'all don't put a lot of thought in these videos before you make them.
Man, Vasilis, Diamond Vasilis. Them dogs over there going crazy. All right, we finna get into the deep end in just a minute. So y'all get ready. We about to go to the deep end. This is gonna send us over into the deep end. Y'all ready? Are y'all ready to get to the second portion of this show? We finna go into the deep end now. I took y'all through there with the those were like the PG parts. Now we finna really get in there. All right, let's go.
So it's been, say, a week or two probably since we've covered the Epstein situation. We were covering Congress. They brought in a lot of the Epstein victims, and it's undoubtedly terrible what Epstein did.
We know the truth now here. Charlie Kirk is a big activist in the Epstein case, right? Earlier this year, he said he was going to leave that Epstein case alone. But last week, on his YouTube, he got right on there and got to talking about that Epstein case and stirred it back up again. Now, these people who are linked into the Epstein case are very, very resourceful people, if you know what I mean. So, bringing that case back up, started up a hornet's nest, and they wanted him gone. And somebody with a lot of resources is the only people who can unalive you in front of thousands of college students at 12 o'clock on TV. We know the truth now.
We definitely know the truth now. Now let's go ahead and get in this rabbit hole. Fasten your seatbelts. We going through there, y'all.
Lies that Epstein, with his little friend Ghislaine and Ghislaine's father, Robert Maxwell, who was obviously a spy of the Israeli intelligence agencies, that there was something else going on here. Epstein was not some sort of whiz kid hedge fund manager. Epstein was playing a part. Epstein was a LARPer. Epstein was cast for a specific role, and he played it really well. The sweatpants and the Harvard jacket, the kind of disheveled hair, looking as if he was so smart and above the clouds that he was doing advanced mathematic equations on the back of napkins. But if you actually go into some of the videos of people that met with Epstein at the time, they said he was awfully unimpressive when it came to finance and markets and economics. And it's nothing new that if you're in the intel agencies, you want to try and get as much blackmail on powerful people as possible. Easy, not hard. And this is no longer just speculation. First of all, the evidence that shows that Epstein was a creation of either Mossad, Israeli intelligence, American intelligence, Saudi intelligence, or maybe he was just a hired gun. Maybe evidence that shows that Epstein was a creation of either Mossad, Israeli intelligence, American intelligence, Saudi intelligence, or maybe he was just a hired gun. Maybe he was just the guy that countries would go to and park a couple $100 million and say, hey, can you get one of the members of the royal family with a 13-year-old so we can get them to do what we want to do? Members of Congress are active and park a couple $100 million and say, hey, can you get one of the members of the royal family with a 13-year-old so we can get them to do what we want to do? Members of Congress are actively being blackmailed. The Epstein playbook is being used on a daily basis. Jeffrey Epstein was not a financier. He was not a hedge fund manager. Jeffrey Epstein was a key player in a multi-decade blackmail operation against the most powerful people on the planet.
Man. Like I said, when you get to the rabbit hole of what really is going on with this Charlie Kirk situation, you might get a little scared. I ain't gonna lie. This one kind of spooked me a little bit. I ain't gonna lie, man, because these people not playing. They are not gonna stop until they get everybody up out their way. They not releasing that
Charlie
list.
Kirk.
Listen to me. They will not release that list. They will not release that list. By all means, if that list gets released, you might as well cancel America, cancel everything, because the world gonna shut down for a little bit once everybody gets exposed for that shit.
Charlie Kirk is shot in the neck from 200 yards away, right in the jugular vein. And as people are running away, the police somehow find this guy who was a patsy. He faked the whole thing to divert attention from the real shooter on the rooftop 200 yards away. Then we find out that the shooter managed to escape without a trace. No security camera footage. No one saw him on the campus. Moments after, though, the shooting takes place, you have Benjamin Netanyahu who comes out and tweets about this before anyone else, before Trump even, the personal friend of Charlie Kirk. Then a few moments later, you have Benjamin Netanyahu come out and say that I was speaking to Charlie Kirk 2 weeks ago. I invited him to Israel. What? You invited him to Israel after he was saying all these things about... Later you have Benjamin Netanyahu come out and say that I was speaking to Charlie Kirk 2 weeks ago. I invited him to Israel. What? You invited him to Israel after he was saying all these things about Mossad, about Gaza, about Iran, and he was getting all this flack for having Tucker Carlson and Dave Smith speak at TPUSA. All of your Hasbara agents were attacking Charlie Kirk, and you decided to stop your schedule, bombing 7 countries in the middle of this political crisis in your country, to have a conversation with Charlie Kirk, call him and say that he needs to come to Israel to kiss the wall again, and presumably he said no. Am I missing something? Because a lot of the Israelis and their Hasbara agents online are saying, you can't talk about that, you're a conspiracy theorist, you're just trying to tie everything to Israel. No, this is a political assassination of one of the most famous political commentators in the country. I'm allowed to ask questions about whatever I want. I'm allowed to say whatever I want. Do I think it's interesting that JFK's shooter was never found? RFK's shooter was never found? Princess Diana's murder was covered up? The 9/11 story was obviously covered up? Do I think it's interesting that the Epstein list was never released? Well, I think it's interesting that this is all happening right now and the shooter's still not found. Yes, I do. And I'm going to keep asking questions.
Man, it's getting interesting, gang. That's all I can say is it's getting real interesting. People are waking up.
I've been to Israel many times. The whole country's a fortress. When I first heard this story, I still have the same gut instinct that I did initially. I find this very hard to believe. I've been to that Gaza border. You cannot go 10 feet without running into a 19-year-old with an AR-15 or an automatic machine gun that's an IDF soldier. Right? The whole country is surveilled. And so let me just kind of go through this. We don't talk about Israeli politics very often, and most Americans don't know this. The last 9 months, Israel is on the brink of civil war. It's not an exaggeration. This judicial stuff, there were hundreds of thousands of Israelis taking to the streets because Bibi Netanyahu is basically redefining the Israeli constitution. That's not an exaggeration, right? He said the judicial branch has too much power. There were protests planned this week against Netanyahu, where they anticipated tens of thousands of people to take to the streets. That's all gone, Patrick. Netanyahu now has an emergency government and a mandate to lead. I'm not willing to go so far that saying that Netanyahu knew or there was intelligence here, but I think some questions need to be asked. Was there a stand down order? Was there a stand down order? 6 hours? I don't believe it. Israel's the size of New Jersey. When I took a helicopter ride from Jerusalem to the Gaza border, it's 45 minutes. 6 hours. They're live streaming the killing of Jews. Did somebody in the government say stand down? That is a legitimate, non-conspiracy question. The whole country is the IDF. The whole country is.
Yeah.
And you're trying to tell me that they're going to concerts and kibbutzes and schools and by report.
So as y'all see, he was saying some pretty interesting things before his death, man. And I'm telling y'all, they want you to believe it's left versus right. Which, I mean, it is, but this ain't that and that ain't this. I mean, I believe this is behind what they got going on, and I just think someone is just forced to choose a side, but this is way deeper than just left versus right. There's somebody in the middle that's controlling everything. You're looking at the left and then you're looking at the right, but you're forgetting to look right in front of you because, hey, the real people that's controlling everything is sitting right in the middle, and it ain't the left or the right. Let's just call it what it is.
Those of you laughing at Charlie Kirk's assassination, just know that the joke is on you. Believe me when I tell you. For those of you who think that he was killed by some radical liberal, you're sadly mistaken. If you think that he was killed by some Republican, you are sadly mistaken. All right, so first of all, let's rule it out. Myself and many police officers that I know who may lean towards the right, who get shooting practice and all that, no way you're making that shot from 600 feet away perfectly. And no radical liberal who hates the Second Amendment, who hates gun control, is going to go ahead and make that shot. So he was killed by some higher power. And that higher power wasn't God. It's somebody higher than us, somebody that controls everything that we don't know about. So ask yourself, why was Charlie Kirk killed? Charlie Kirk was killed because he was effective! And they only kill effective people, whether you agree with their policies or not. They killed Abraham Lincoln because he was effective, and not everybody agreed with him. They killed Martin Luther King because he was effective, and not everybody agreed with him. They killed JFK because he was effective, and not everybody agreed with him. The same way they tried to kill Reagan because he was effective, and the joke is on you if you want to hand in your guns. Because what's to protect you from the higher power? Nothing!
So everybody's finna sign off to get rid of these weapons, and it's coming, man. It's a crazy time, man, but y'all finna see in the end, the martial law is coming.
You think the Charlie Kirk death was the left versus the right? You are probably also the same group that believes JFK was killed randomly. There's too much going on where any of this could be coincidence. What I mean is we have a trans shooter who goes into a Catholic school. Then just a few days ago, we have a Ukrainian refugee who gets murdered on a train. And then now today, we have Charlie Kirk. If this doesn't scream ideological and cultural subversion, I don't know what to tell you. There's 4 stages to that, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we are in the final stages. But no one else is aware of the bombings in Qatar, what's currently happening in Gaza. We are literally funding a genocide. It's the perfect example of division creating tensions and hatred and violence toward different groups. We're all the same. And while you're causing that division between a nation, you're also then causing a distraction. And we just talked about what those distractions would be. And I'm also sure you're aware of what day is rapidly approaching us. Open your eyes. It's not the left versus the right. Now, what I urge you all to do, look at Germany in the early 1900s. Really do some deep dive research and come back and tell me if it is not identical to what is happening in modern day America.
Boy, they cooking. They cooking. He's saying, go back and look at what they told you was wrong, because I ain't going to say what I know what he's trying to say. Go back and look at all that shit they told you was wrong, and don't do this, and don't listen to these people, but they're doing the exact same shit right now. That's crazy, right?
You on September 11th? I was home. The only reason I wasn't where I was.
Listen to this, guys. I told you we're going to go down that rabbit hole tonight.
My wife, God bless her, I made an appointment for me at the doctor. And I remember dressing to go to the doctor. I finally saying, "Oh," I said, "Sweetheart, I've got so much to do downtown. I got to cancel this. I've got to go downtown." And she said, "You're not going to cancel." I said, "Well, you're going to."
He doesn't understand militant Islam. So I wrote a book in 1995, and I said that if the West doesn't wake up to the suicidal nature of militant Islam, the next thing you'll see is the militant Islam is bringing down the World Trade Center.
Nice prediction there, just a bit of psychic, was he? Like it's got Israeli fingerprints all over it. And with any of that sort of stuff, you just got to say, cui bono, who benefits? And the only people who benefited from 9/11 is Israel, and even Benjamin Netanyahu said that as well. So the one thing we are benefiting.
Do y'all understand where we going with this rabbit hole? Do y'all understand? I can't say too much, but just pay attention, guys.
From at the moment is the attack on the World Trade Center.
Netanyahu said, quote, "We're benefiting from one thing, and that is the attack on the Twin Towers and Pentagon and the American struggle in Iraq."
I mean, they do these false flag attacks all the time. How much evidence do people need? Now, what would be the benefit for the Arab world blowing up Twin Towers? I mean, how have they benefited from this? Have a look at Iraq. Have a look at what we've done to the Arab world since that event happened. And look what Israel has got from that event happening, and ask yourself.
Look around there and look around on the other side. This was all a strategic plan. All along, everything was been well thought out, well planned. Look at this spot, and you just saw what's going on in the other spot. They benefited. They benefited a lot.
Who benefits?
The American government rounded up 200 Israeli operatives after 9/11.
during their 9/11 sweep operation and deported them back to Israel. The Israelis invented modern terrorism. They admit it. That's what they used to oust the British from Palestine and take over Israel in 1948. And they've been doing it ever since. But they learned early on to make it look like Arabs and Muslims did it rather than Jews.
You look at Larry Silverstein, who's a terrific owner in New York and a very good friend of mine who I just called. I was very worried about him because I assumed maybe he was in the building. He took possession of the building 1 week ago. As you know, he just bought the World Trade Center.
Right. Lo and behold, two Jewish billionaires buy two asbestos-filled buildings that are half empty, of which the Port Authority was attempting to get out from under the liability and debt associated with these worthless buildings. Two Jewish billionaires named Frank Lowy and Larry Silverstein buy these buildings, and the fact is, the literal, truthful, undeniable fact is that when they purchased the lease on the Twin Towers, they literally transferred billions of dollars of liability over to themselves because the cost to extract the asbestos was in the billion.
It began when this woman was watching the Twin Towers burning from her apartment in New Jersey. She noticed three men on top of a van, posing for pictures with the towers burning in the background.
And I could see that they were like happy. You know, they didn't look shocked to me. You know, they didn't look shocked. I thought it was very strange.
The witness called police, who stopped the van hours later and arrested 5 men. All 5, it turns out, were Israeli. They were turned over to the FBI. Sources tell ABC News, during a check of national security databases, some of the men were listed as having had connections with Israeli intelligence.
What do y'all think about this? I told you I was going to take y'all down a deep rabbit hole tonight. I hope I didn't disappoint, because we still ain't even got all the way through there. We still got a lot more to go.
At the FBI, that set off alarm bells.
The FBI needed the answers to 3 important questions. Who were these men? What brought them to that parking lot on the morning of September 11th? And did they have any advance knowledge of what was going to happen that day?
They said they worked for a company called Urban Moving. The FBI obtained a search warrant for the company's offices.
2 SUVs were filled up with between 9 and 12 boxes and computers.
Not long after the arrests, the offices of Urban Moving were simply abandoned. Almost everything was left behind. In jail, the 5 Israelis were repeatedly interrogated and given lie detector tests. Stephen Gordon was their American lawyer.
They were asked questions if they had ever been approached by or hired by any non-United States intelligence community.
While there is still some debate among American intelligence officials, many investigators believe some of the men were part of an Israeli operation aimed at monitoring radical Islamic charities that support groups like Hamas, something lawyers for the 5 men and the Israeli government strongly deny.
Man, what y'all think about this? Tell you, we're gonna take y'all down this different angle of this shit.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
Biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized right to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. And so even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of
him. Yo, this shit crazy. What the hell did it miss?
He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him. Punch some people in the face!
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Look, it's his character. He's stabbed to death.
They got a bunch of weird shit going on with all this shit, man. Are y'all paying attention? Are y'all paying attention to this shit? Man.
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
A Missouri state senator is under
What is going on in this world, man?
investigation by the Secret Service after saying she hopes President Trump is.
See, everyone is. It's like everyone just wants death. What is going on?
Assassinated.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd.
They are just. It's like everyone wants violence. Listen to this shit.
And you push back on them, and you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
And sadly, the domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not.
If you think we're rallying now, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Man. This shit is crazy work. They said they not letting up. They want blood, bro. This is just what it is. This is what it came to. They want smoke. They want blood.
.30 caliber hunting rifle was found. It was found with a expended cartridge inside the rifle. It was wrapped in a towel. There were also 3 unspent rounds that were in the magazine of the rifle. On those unspent rounds, there were expressions of transgender and anti-fascist ideology on those rounds. And this comes from a federal law enforcement bulletin.
We just saw that exact same thing just a couple of weeks ago. What an unbelievable coincidence it is that the question Charlie was being asked just before he was shot was this question.
Do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
And I don't want them to show what happened, so yeah.
I hope we are questioning that person. I hope that is a coincidence, because if it's not a coincidence, it means we're dealing with something entirely different.
Yeah, we are, because that person asked that specific question as he was being taken out. Who is that person? So you should be questioning that person who made those statements.
But
in my mind, you should have been asking, hey, who the hell was that, and why the hell did he ask that shit?
But it goes to the point where, if, for example, if I have less ability sometimes online to criticize the Israeli government about backlash than actual Israelis do.
It's been so unfair. They were coming after you after Turning Point for, among other things, that you had Dave Smith there. Dave Smith isn't allowed to criticize Israel. You had both sides. The Israeli side was overrepresented.
No, you're not allowed to. It's even worse than that. Like, I host a person that I moderate the debate of, mind you, right? And I give equal time to Josh Hammer, equal time to a pro-Israel advocate, and my moral character is being put into question. And so I think it's a hyper paranoid, like, we're just going to try to, we're going to just stamp out everything type of practice.
It's like there's some rule you can't go there when it comes to Israel.
Well, you and I believe that we're Americans and Americans first, period. End of story. We are citizens of this nation, okay?
That's
and
right.
Israel, we have funded, we have supported, like we're going to, but we're like, honestly, the way you are treating me is so repulsive. I have text messages, Megan, calling me an anti-Semite. But my moral character is now being put into question, Megan. Not my decisions, not like, hey, are you doing this? Is it smart or is it dumb? But no, I am a bad person if I do this. And I could go, you saw it, Megan. It was trending on Twitter, thousands of tweets and text messages.
It's offensive to those of us who have been out there defending them in many instances against critics on our own side. And now you have a couple of comments like, well, what about...
Man. So his way of thinking on certain topics, just you could tell this is the reason why they did what they did. Some of the stuff he was saying.
Guys, that Epstein, with his little friend Ghislaine and Ghislaine's father, Robert Maxwell, who is obviously a spy of the Israeli intelligence agencies.
And I'm going to circle back to this, what I just posted a minute ago. He was definitely given the drop on what was really going on with Mr. Jeffrey. And the fact of who really sent Jeffrey out here to do what he was doing. And this is really the biggest cover-up in the world ever. This list that they're covering up is the biggest thing in the world that can happen, and it's just never going to happen. And ultimately, they told him to leave it alone. He said he was going to leave it alone, and they took him out.
He said, he wrote me a letter on May 2nd this year. He said, one of my greatest joys as a Christian is advocating for Israel and forming alliances to defend Judeo-Christian civilization.
And then it's crazy that they come out with this statement knowing that he was just exposing them.
A few weeks before the tragedy yesterday, I called him and I spoke to him and I said, please come to Israel. I invited him to Israel. And sadly, that visit will not take place. But he was a defender of our common Judeo-Christian civilization. He was unbelievably excited to walk in the footsteps of Jesus here. He valued our bond, the bond between America and Israel. He did so many things to defend free speech. He had his truth. He stood up for it. But he said, you can come and debate me. He invited that debate. He certainly didn't invite the violence, the horrible violence that tried to silence him. And this is a worldwide problem. The people on the extremes, the Islamists, the radical Islamists, and their union with the ultra progressives, they often speak about human rights. They speak about free speech, but they use violence to try to take down their enemies, whether it's President Trump, who's been almost assassinated twice, or they try to kill me here too. But they got Charlie Kirk, and it's just heartbreaking.
Man, timing is everything, right? Timing is everything, and they definitely making some crazy ass decisions around here.
If you're gonna remove my appendix and you're a black lesbian, see a black pilot, you wonder, you say, I hope they are qualified. If I see a black pilot, I'm gonna be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman. I wonder, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? Thomas Sowell and Justice Clarence Thomas are far better black role models to celebrate than Martin Luther King, period. End of story. This guy is not worthy of a national holiday. He is not worthy of godlike status. In fact, I think it's really harmful. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
Man. So he said some things that I definitely didn't agree with, but I don't think he deserved what he got.
Honor the memory.
Let's listen to this.
Of Charlie Kirk.
Listen to this shit, y'all. This is crazy work right here. I want y'all to see this shit. Hold on.
Honor the memory of Charlie Kirk and Irina Zarutska. Yeah. And we need to take this rage, this loss, and channel into real productive action. President Trump said we need to be vicious, just like they are. Yeah. And I hope our federal law enforcement does what they must to root out the radical left. Crush the left! 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 We received plenty of death threats this very evening. Plenty of leftists were threatening to kill us. Just like they killed Charlie Kirk, just like Luigi Mangione killed that healthcare guy. I don't see them here tonight because these are cowards. They know that there's too many of us. Let them come! 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 These cowards are unwilling to face the righteous anger of the American people. Years ago, we said, if a strong message was not sent to anti-white terrorists, they will kill again. And last night, we all saw the bloody result of that. We must destroy the radical left once and for all. If we don't do it with Donald Trump in office, they're going to come for each and every one of us. Yeah. Every radical left activist judge, every NGO that buses these criminals into our cities, pays their bail, and emboldens these terrorists. Fight, fight, fight! 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 I would like to thank everybody that helped organize this. I'd like to thank the Orange County Young Republicans for bringing out people. I'd like to thank the grassroots movement of Huntington Beach for coming out here. This is our city. Whose streets? Our streets! 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 Whose streets? Our streets!
Man, what do y'all think about this? What do y'all think about this? Let me know in the chat. That was crazy as hell, man. What in the hell? I'm talking about, bro, we living in a crazy ass time, right? But what in the hell these people got going on? All right, let's continue.
America, we have a problem. We have a problem because we have a corrupt government that will mislead you any chance that they can get. Anyone that they put in front of you at this point and state is the assassin of Mr. Kirk is just placed in front of you to get you into your feelings, to water down the narrative.
What do y'all think about this shit, man? Let me know in the chat.
Pull you from the truth. That was a professional hit.
He's saying that was a professional hit. The way this was done was professionally done. And I got music playing, so I'm going to have to kind of skim through this.
That shot was taken by a professional.
Do y'all believe that was a professional hit?
Now, they might drag some 60-year-old guy out and say, oh, he's a lefty, or this.
And they want it to be left versus right. Remember that.
This individual's a transsexual. That shot was taken by a professional.
That was definitely a professional.
Now, I believe they took him out because he was getting too close and too big.
They said he was getting too close. He was getting too close to the truth.
This is no longer just speculation.
So yeah, they got the music playing in this clip, but definitely they saying they was coming for Charlie simply because he was getting too close to the truth, man.
I mean, if you're shorting American Airlines a week before 9/11 when no one knows it's coming, I think you should have to explain why you did that. And if you're shorting Barclays and banks that were affected by 9/11, why can't we know who you are? These are public markets, by the way. This is not private equity. This is publicly traded equities. I wonder about that. So clearly, yes, there was foreknowledge. By the way, there was a team, this is according to the FBI, this is the FBI saying, there was a team of clearly intel-connected foreigners who were arrested after 9/11, as you well know, videotaping the terror attacks. I'm almost verbatim quoting from the FBI assessment of this. And the FBI determined that they apparently had foreknowledge of the attacks. So why can't we know more about that? Exactly. Shut up! That's bigoted. No, this is my country.
And they did have intelligence on those attacks beforehand, allegedly. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying allegedly. Don't come for me. Don't come for me. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Don't come for me. So let's get more into this Charlie Kirk situation.
The behavior by a lot, both privately and publicly.
And it says, I'm not going to name names, but I was told by someone close to Charlie Kirk that Charlie thinks Israel will unalive him if he turns against them.
Or pushing people like you and me away. Not like we're going to be pro-Hamas. Not like we're going to, but we're like, honestly, the way you are treating me is so repulsive. I have text messages, Megan, calling me an anti-Semite. I am learning biblical Hebrew and writing a book on the Shabbat. I honor the Shabbat. Literally the Jewish Sabbath. I visit Israel and fight for it. And there's another article out in the Times of Israel today. I could read it on air. I was just reading before I got on. Charlie, what are you doing? Like, why are you, what am I doing? I'm sorry. Like, let's just take a step back here. Like, I'm an American citizen. Yes, I want Israel to win. Yes, I'm a Christian. But like, the sum of the mess, and you've seen how I've been treated, Megan, by some, not all, by some.
No, it's very irritating.
It's
been so unfair. They were coming after you after a turning point for, among other things, that you had Dave Smith there. Dave Smith isn't allowed to criticize Israel. You had both sides. The Israeli side was overrepresented.
No, you're not allowed to. It's even worse than that. Again, I just want to repeat for the 5th time. I love Israel. I want Israel to win. But my moral character is now being put into question, Megan. Not my decisions. Not like, hey, are you doing this? Is it smart or is it dumb? But no, I am a bad person if I do this. And I could go, you saw it, Megan. It was trending on Twitter, thousands of messages. And if I were to be charitable and generous, I will say the people that are attacking me are in a hyper paranoid state because they're at war, and war tends to make things black and white, and you're a hammer looking for a nail. So I'm trying to be charitable, Megan. Literally, I'm trying to cut as much slack as I can, right? Like, okay, what would it be like if all of a sudden I'm starting to see a pattern of behavior similar to what my grandparents saw in 1930s Germany online? How would I behave? So that's like my charitable kind of overcompensation spirit. At the same time, I'm like, but it's not defensible to be dumb, right?
Yeah.
So
and it's offensive. It's offensive to those of us who have been out there defending them in many instances against critics on our own side. And now you have a couple of comments like, well, what about this? Well, has it gone on too long?
Man, if you guys are enjoying this content, double tap your screen for me. If you're enjoying the content, double tap your screen. We got 1,900 votes, but only 600 likes. Come on, y'all. Let's get these likes up.
Like, is it time to wrap it up? And the thing about Epstein is just so bizarre. I don't know who he was an agent for. It might have been Israel or an asset, or it might have been nobody. But we're allowed to speculate about that. It's there's some rule. You can't go there when it comes to Israel.
Well, you and I believe that we're Americans and Americans first, period. End of story. We are citizens of this nation, okay?
That's
right. Israel, we have funded, we have supported, and they're up against a sea of Islamic totalitarianism, and we should be cheering for them, right? Because they're up against barbarians and monsters, and we want them to win. However, here is Megyn Kelly and Charlie Kirk combined probably 30 million social media followers, like pretty, right? And you and I have been holding this down. You probably get the negative, oh, you're just shilling for Israel, whatever. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do what's right regardless of the feedback, right? But then
someone said, why do we need them to win? If you know, you know. I just told you there's a side to the left and there's a side to the right, but who controls everything right down the middle? Stay woke.
Sudden, like I host a person that I moderate the debate of, mind you, right? And I give equal time to Josh Hammer, equal time to a pro-Israel advocate, and my moral character is being put into question. And so I think it's a hyper paranoid, like we're just going to try to, we're going to just stamp out everything type of practice. But it goes to the point where if, for example, if I have less ability sometimes online to criticize the Israeli government without backlash than actual Israelis do. Mm-hmm. And that's really, really weird, isn't it, Megan?
He was just saying too much about them. And they really wanted him to just shut up. That's all they wanted him to do, was just shut up.
And if we go dark, I'll put all those things out there.
So yeah, like I said, they really just wanted him to shut up, man. So let's get to more Charlie Kirk.
And if we go dark, I'll put all those things out there.
Yeah.
How did these guys not know this was taking place?
So I've been to Israel many times. The whole country's a fortress. When I first heard this story, I still had the same gut instinct that I did initially. I find this very hard to believe. I've been to that Gaza border. You cannot go 10 feet without running into a 19-year-old with an AR-15 or an automatic machine gun that's an IDF soldier, right? The whole country is surveilled. And so let me just kind of go through this. We don't talk about Israeli politics very often, and most Americans don't know this. The last 9 months, Israel is on the brink of civil war. It's not an exaggeration. This judicial stuff, there were hundreds of thousands of Israelis taking to the streets because Bibi Netanyahu is basically redefining the Israeli constitution. That's not an exaggeration, right? He said the judicial branch has too much power. There were protests planned this week against Netanyahu, where they anticipated tens of thousands of people to take to the streets. That's all gone, Patrick. Netanyahu now has an emergency government and a mandate to lead. I'm not willing to say to go so far that saying that Netanyahu knew or there was intelligence here, but I think some questions need to be asked. Was there a stand down order? Was there a stand down order? 6 hours? I don't believe it. Israel's the size of New Jersey. When I took a helicopter ride from Jerusalem to the Gaza border, it's 45 minutes. Wow. 6 hours. They're live streaming the killing of Jews. Did somebody in the government say stand down? That is a legitimate, non-conspiracy question. The whole country is the IDF. The whole country is.
Yeah.
And you're trying to tell me that they're going to concerts and kibbutzes and schools and by reports 6 hours. Let's say it's 3 hours.
That's suspect. Go ahead, Rob.
It's also not like a right-wing reporting. This is from the New York Times. The long wait for help as massacre unfolds in Israel.
9
I can't think of a
hours.
more liberal news outlet than the New York Times.
And by the way, I'm actually very pro-Israel. So let me be very, so I'm not exactly.
I think we all are.
No, I just want to make sure my position is clear here. But so Patrick, there are other explanations. It's possible that the Netanyahu government was double-crossed by bad agents. Okay? That's dark, but it's not as dark as what we're talking about. Okay? Another aspect is that Netanyahu might have traitors in his government, like legitimate traitors that have infiltrated. I was texting with some senior people in the IDF, and they said, Charlie, I can't say too much, but let's just say the same problem you have with the left in America, we have here in Israel. So there's something to think about. Just something to think about, right? Is that maybe there's some people within those intel agencies that aren't as sympathetic. Or maybe, Patrick, maybe they might have gotten a tip. They might have gotten whispers, but no one thought it would be 1,200 Jews dead. That's a potential, right? Because here's the essence of it. The essence is this. This is the closest thing to the Holocaust that any of us have lived through. But the fact is now Bibi and the Israeli hard right government has a mandate.
What do y'all think about his position? He said his position is clear. Somebody said, yeah, it was very clear, way too clear. It's like he's giving someone a backhanded compliment almost. I don't know if y'all can see. It's kind of like you kind of like, oh yeah, I agree with y'all, but then like, I don't fuck with y'all views on anything though.
I gotta be careful the way I say this. They're gonna try to ethnically cleanse Gaza.
Yep.
I mean I don't use that term lightly. Okay, they're talking about basically removing 2.5 million people from there. Okay, and honestly, they have a mandate to go seek justice and revenge. They do. This idea that they need to have a truce or a peace treaty, that's morally crap after you see women and children be burned alive and dragged to the streets. But there are some serious questions here, Patrick. And let me tell you, my pattern recognition over the last 5 years has become pretty sharp. COVID, Maui fires, Epstein. When I see a story and it doesn't click, our guts are usually right.
Man, you shouldn't have went with that gut instinct, man. You was going at the higher powers that be. You kind of messed up in that one.
As you guys have been watching the news.
Yeah, he messed up with that one. He did and said a lot of stuff that he should not have said and done. Let's keep it a buck.
As you guys have been watching the news, there's conflicting reports all around the globe. Literally all around the globe. Israeli news service and Benjamin Netanyahu had made a comment and made the announcement that Charlie Kirk had passed, that he was in fact dead, that Charlie has died. They made that announcement roughly 20 minutes after the shooting. U.S. News reported nothing of that he was stable. Some reports said that he was in surgery. Of course, obviously, I've talked to people who were literally in the presence of Charlie, trying to stabilize him. CNN is just now reporting that he is in fact passed.
Israel and Netanyahu made the announcement. I don't know how they knew. It's like, well, how do you think? Again, if you're plotting this, you're going to take the shot, but you're also going to have somebody in the hospital. And this is a pretty regular thing with assassinations. And you know what? If it comes out and it looks like it is, and again, this wasn't Charlie Kirk getting shot and me going, it was Israel, like right away. I didn't even occur to me until somebody posted but then the more I think about it, the more I'm like, yeah, this actually is in line with a lot of stuff that, the way Charlie Kirk is moving away and how terrible that would be for Israel if that was the case. And how they can, make him a martyr for the cause, and that nobody would expect them because he's so pro-Israel, but he's moving away. And maybe, again, they had internal communications between him and other people where he was a little bit even more, honest about how he felt or his intentions moving into the future. The fact that he was having guests on where every single guest mentioned Epstein and Israel, he was getting out of control, and he may have been put down. And then you look at suspected assassinations like General Patton after World War II. Similar kind of thing. This is General Patton. This is the guy who won the war against the Nazis. Why would Jews want to kill that guy, right? They should love that guy. Well, it turns out as he traveled through Germany after the war, he started to ask some questions about what exactly they were fighting for and who was organizing all this. And he made some very disparaging statements against the Jewish people that were managing the post-war disbursement of German goods, basically. And then he was in a car crash. He was sitting in the back seat. He was the only one injured in the car crash. He broke his neck, but he was alive at the hospital where he later died from injuries that he shouldn't have died from.
Man. I told y'all this rabbit hole gets deep. I told y'all, man, this rabbit hole gets deep. Let's go.
Hey everybody, just an update on what's going on. It's 1:45.
All right, so let's continue. I didn't play this whole video, so I'm gonna get to the part where I left off.
How this is going to work out. I'm going to be very honest with you, and I'm only speaking to the Calvary Chapel Chino Hills family right now. That I've had to make a decision between going through with service. Fox News is now announcing Charlie Kirk is dead. 1:46 Pacific time. Fox News. CNN is reporting that he has passed. So I first found out that he had passed shortly after Charlie was shot from Israeli news service. How they knew, but they knew. And now, just now, well over an hour or so, an hour and a half, the U.S. News is reporting this. I've got some details that I'm not willing to share right now. But tonight's service, I'm going to ask everybody to come on out and pray. And I'm going to ask you to be patient, please, because I've just made a decision, because this is important. We are going to pray as a church family, and I will be with you there. And at the same time, I'm going to be running across campus as we set up the Real Life Network interview with Fox News nationwide. I've been asked if I would address this on Fox News nationwide. So I'm going to try to be in two places at the same time. Because prayer is the number one thing. And the second thing is the narrative. The right words have got to be said right now. Nancy Pelosi is calling for gun restrictions immediately in the light of Charlie Kirk's assassination. No gun has never killed anyone. It's the depraved demonic heart behind the gun. And as we just learned in South Carolina, if there's no gun, there's a knife. And when there's no knife, there's a rock. And when there's no rock, there's the bare hands of a godless, fallen nature that needs Jesus Christ. Friends, it's important on how you process this information. You're going to get mad at God? You're going to get mad at what? Gun stores? How about you get mad at Satan and do something about it? Stand up for what's right. Speak up. Stop being a spectator to the death of the United States of America. Do we not know? Have we not woken up to the fact that politics will not save us? Our economy is not going to save us? Donald Trump, President Trump's just announced that Charlie Kirk, his friend, is dead. When are we going to wake up and seek God? We need a revival in the church, or else this entire nation perishes, and very quickly. I think Jesus Christ is right now with his arms outstretched to America, to the church. Forget about America. Jesus' hands are stretched out right now to the church in America, asking us, what will we do? Will we repent and intercede for our nation? Or we will just what? Get busy? We're going to go online? We're going to just dive into social media? We're going to go back to gaming? I'm not talking about the lost. I'm talking about we the saved, we the children of God. And so please pray for me. I'm going to do both, right? By God's grace. We're going to be doing the service tonight. We are going to worship the Lord because Charlie's with Jesus. And, but Erica and the kids remain. And so we're going to pray. We're going to go through some comforting scriptures. And then I'll run over. I need to be available for Fox between the hours of 8 p.m. Pacific and 10 p.m. Pacific. And that's the least that I can do for my friend Charlie and I go way back. We go back before him and Erica, and we've had him here in our house, and he's a dear brother. Hey, he's doing good right about now, right? He's where we're going to be. And so, though we weep and we're sad, we don't weep without hope. Glory be to God. If Jesus comes back soon, he's going to be bringing Charlie Kirk with him. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verses 13 through 18. So, God bless you, family of God. And if you're not in the family of God, you're running out of time.
Man, this is about time to get back in that Bible, man. We might be coming towards a civil war, the end of times. I don't know, man. What do y'all think? This could be possibly leaning towards the end, bro. Like, the more you start to see the way the world is moving, it's just, I don't know, fam.
She's trying to get out the visual and the idea of assassinating Donald Trump. This is where this is headed. I hope everyone understands. Whether it be Julius Caesar, Abraham Lincoln, John F. Kennedy, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., Bobby Kennedy, assassinations of major political leaders are nothing new. And yet we've kind of been immune to that for a couple of decades. We have been warning about this for months. Now, the very interesting question is, will they try to kill Joe Biden or Donald Trump? That's the interesting question. Which one right now is a bigger threat to them? And that I'll let the audience kind of ruminate on that question. But we've been warning about this for quite some months. This is why the next man up philosophy is so important, and why we wanted to do the show with you, Steve, as a show of force, is that you take one out, 100 more appear. You take one out, 1,000 more appear. You take one out, 10,000 more appear. You take one out, we give more money. You take one out, we register more voters. You take one out, is that it only actually makes us stronger. You see, there are three different ways to analyze political movements or to categorize them. There are the fragile, the durable, and the anti-fragile. This is from Nassim Taleb, which is a phenomenal book. The fragile is the Mitt Romney Republican Party. That is the Paul Ryan Republican Party. You say one bad word about them, they collapse, they bend the knee, they surrender, and they're relentlessly apologizing, and they're spineless. Then there is the durable. The durable is the best of the conservative movement prior to Donald Trump. That would be the conservative movement that always held on, and they put up a good fight, had some fortitude, but didn't quite have enough to be able to endure the grind or the slog of the activist regime media. And then there is the anti-fragile. I encourage everyone to read the book Anti-Fragile. In the book Anti-Fragile, Nassim Taleb argues that there are unique people, organizations, movements, restaurants, companies that actually get stronger the more pressure and opposition that is applied upon them. And when you find an anti-fragile movement, that their life force is actually what ends up being opposition. That is Donald Trump. Has anyone noticed that Donald Trump looks younger, stronger, more full of life and vitality after the indictments than before the indictments? It gives him purpose, reason of being. It gives him a telos, as the Greekers would say, or a teleological purpose for existence. This movement that we are part of right now, that historians will write about for the next 1,000 years. Let me say that again. This movement that you are part of will be written about for the next millennia. People do not remember the many movements from 400 or 500 years ago. Maybe a little bit here, English Revolution, whatever. This movement will be written about for 1,000 years. And when the history books are written, it will befuddle historians 600, 700, 800 years from now. Why is it that the people that had so much to lose, the Steve Bannons, the Peter Navarros, the Donald Trumps, they kept on doubling and tripling down? Because full of fortitude and that resolute spirit, we have the chance to influence the arc of history, as the left-winger Hegelians would always say. The arc of history always bends towards justice. How about this? The arc of history will bend back towards citizen-led government, not subjects, not slaves. And we will use this dark moment as they cart you off tomorrow, Steve, and put you in handcuffs, and we say goodbye for 123 days. For 123 days, I will work harder than I ever have my entire life. This is repulsive. This is disgusting. It is outrageous. And it is a call to action for every citizen watching right now to do more. You are not doing enough. I am not doing enough because one of our on-field commanders is getting taken off for 123 days. What are we going to do about it?
Man. What do y'all think about that? Like I said, some of the stuff he was saying, some of the stuff, he went down in flames, man. I mean that, like saying he was definitely saying some stuff that a lot of people probably just would not agree with. Now, I want to get to y'all about this book. Now, this is the part about that book I was telling y'all about. Listen to this and watch this, y'all.
This one here has got me a little confused. A new book that was released about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And what's so confusing about it? Well, its publication date. You see, September 9th is the day before Charlie Kirk was shot. He was shot yesterday. That was the 10th. This book was published the day before he was shot. Seems odd, doesn't it?
You're watching the Kramer Says Project.
This one.
What do y'all think about that? Look at this again.
It's got me a little confused. A new book that was released about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And what's so confusing about it? Well, its publication date. You see, September 9th is the day before Charlie Kirk was shot. He was shot yesterday. That was the 10th. This book was published the day before he was shot.
What do y'all think about that? That was a book. I think they deleted that book since, but everybody caught it on yesterday on the 10th. But they noticed that book was published on the 9th. Crazy work.
What would you?
Crazy work, right? Now, how do they come up with a book that quick? That quick? How do they come up with a book that quick? Let's go.
What would you have done on September the 12th, 2001? What would you have done if you'd been president?
What would I have done?
Yeah.
I would have done a legitimate investigation to find out what exactly happened on 9/11. How did they know who did this so quickly like they did Lee Harvey Oswald? How quick they knew Lee Harvey Oswald killed Kennedy.
Because the people who did it were identified and we knew who they were.
Well, then why couldn't we have stopped them beforehand if they were identified and we knew who they were?
It was a failure of intelligence.
Pierce Morgan, I'm starting to realize you with the other side, my boy. Pierce Morgan, I'm starting to notice you controlled by them higher ups.
No, it wasn't. We knew before with Condoleezza Rice's memo on August 6th when it stated right in the memo, bin Laden took steal planes and run them into buildings. And more stuff is coming out now also, how much the Bush administration ignored the intelligence. It was almost like they ignored it because they wanted it to happen.
Oh, come on, Jesse.
No, not oh, come on.
He said, come on now, Jesse. Come on now, Jesse.
Wait a minute. Every war thought starts with a false flag operation.
You can't, in all seriousness, sit there and try and make out anybody.
Okay, let me ask you this, Piers. Wait a minute. Let me ask you something. How much studying have you actually done of 9/11 other than what the government's told you and what mainstream media has told you?
A lot, actually. I have done a lot, actually. You ain't did shit. You just, boy, stop lying.
been studying it 4 years.
I was editor of a national newspaper.
I've talked to people. Wait a minute.
Depth every day for 5-6 months.
Really?
So I know a lot about it.
Well,
one thing I do
come,
know is,
let me ask you this
you
then.
cannot say that any member of the Bush administration knew it was going to happen and wanted it to happen. It's a ridiculous thing to say.
Ridiculous. Okay, let's talk about your BBC. I have a tape of a BBC reporter broadcasting directly back to England, talking about a third building has collapsed. World Trade Center Building 7 talks for 7 minutes. All the while she's talking, World Trade Center Building 7 is still standing right behind her. It didn't fall for another half hour. Yet they were doing a pre-broadcast back to England that, yes, it's true.
You need to
that
take
this
a break
building.
He said, we need to take a break here. You know what? You've said enough. Look, they was in his ear. Get him the fuck off air now.
Fell, and it hadn't fallen yet.
If you're trying to make out the British Broadcasting Company, one of the most respected news organisations in the world, was inventing huge buildings falling over, you need to have a break, Jesse. We'll come back after the break, and we'll talk about Israel and Iran.
Are you kidding me? This is a fact, my friend.
They said, man, he said, man, I know you tripping, Pierce. What the hell? You just brought me up here to ridicule me. Pierce said, you need a break. You need to go sit in timeout. You've said enough. Look, Pierce was not feeling that shit, not even a little bit. Pierce said, hell no, y'all. You ain't finna get me fired off this damn air. You will not. Boy, I said, you will not get me fired.
Then this is from Stellarman22. Attached is a 2-hour time lapse of Provo airport traffic immediately following the assassination. If the FBI and Orem police supposedly set up a manhunt within the vicinity, why was an airport 5 miles away not locked down? Where were the flight restrictions? Some manhunt. So the flights never stopped, never slowed down. We're taking off and landing constantly at that airport, 5 minutes away from the venue. Very easily, this assassin could have gotten off the roof, gotten in a car, driven to the airport, and been gone. Been in the air 10 minutes after the shooting. And in fact, they've tracked a plane, a private jet, 30 minutes into the flight. It drops off of ADSB illegally. So it dropped its flight tracker and then reappeared, headed back to Provost approximately an hour later. Why did this plane turn off its radar? Where's the shooters?
So it says a private jet under the tail number N888KG, and you can look that up yourself. Y'all can go look up all this stuff yourself. It left Provo Airport an hour after the shooting. Suspiciously, 30 minutes into the flight, it drops off of ADS/B illegally and reappears headed back to Provo approximately an hour later. Why did this plane turn off its radar? Where is the shooter?
So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. It's just, a little bit more suspicious activity that people are looking into and noticing. How can this be a manhunt? How could you have locked things down when an airport 5 minutes from the venue was never shut down even for a minute? Folks,
what do y'all think about that? They never even looked at that damn airport. They didn't shut nothing down. They let that man get away, allegedly, they just let him get away. That's alleged. I'm not going to say they did or didn't. I'm just going to say allegedly they let the man get away. So we're not done with this situation by a long shot. Let's continue.
The signs are everywhere. There's no such thing as coincidences. And Charlie Kirk's shooting is just another example of that. People need to wake up. That is the whole point of this. People are now in shock. People are now paying attention. People are now listening. And now we're at a stage, if you have been paying attention to what has been shown to us over the last 9 years, it is all coming out right now. Donald Trump's making it very clear, but the world have to be watching for the real corruption to come out, because it will be a lot of people within politics. It will lead up to the highest levels of people that we do not know about, to people within our own lives, to people that we follow online. We're going to see corruption. Truth and transparency is the only way. It needed an event like this. No, this is real. It's staged. It's scripted. And if you cannot see the signs anymore, you have to buckle up, which is the message. Look at all these signs. So we had Charlie Kirk's wife put out a post 3 hours before this event, and it was 46:1 Psalms. That 461 takes you to a post. What makes a movie good? great actors. 2 days ago, we had this El Salvador president put out a post, and all it said was, "Buckle up, buttercups." That post was identical to the Q post, and that Q post was yesterday, September the 10th. And it said after, "Buckle up, buttercups," it's about to get bumpy. Well, look at Donald Trump's messaging too. First post where he comments about Charlie, look at his words. "We must all pray who has been shot, a great guy from top to bottom, God bless him." Look at the post just before though. "What's with Russia violating Poland's airspace with drones? Here we go." Type in "here we go" on the Q post. What does it say? Buckle up. It's leading us to a point where we have to buckle up because the truth is coming out whether you like it or not. Whatever perspective you're going to watch it from, you're going to get it. So if you want the highest view in the house, you let go of the attachments and see this is a staged event. There's lots of conspiracy theorists now digging into the actual shooting, looking at the blood packs, looking at all these different things that don't make sense. You can clearly see the people being interviewed for this. It's all scripted and staged.
Maybe he was on medication, a little bit loony boon, maybe a perfect person to pick and say they did it, but I don't think he did it at all.
But here's another clue. Look at my post yesterday on the Freemasons, the good guys, leaving clues in plain sight. Well, look at the caps there. 3 caps with 47 on it. 4 plus 7 is 11. 11 times 3 is 33. They're leaving the clues in plain sight. And it's always the Freemasons that leave the clues in plain sight to help us understand that they are in full control. Why are Freemasons on the scene of most shooting locations?
Salute to Kimbo for the $20. I appreciate you for the PayPal. Salute.
Openly giving interviews or in background shots. Symbolism will be their downfall. Well, they make the interview so stupid so people can see that's a false flag, that's staged. They leave the clues in there so we can go back and connect the dots in the future where we are now. We can go back to the events like Boston Marathon, 9/11. We say it doesn't make sense. They've done all this for us. It's a scripted movie. They are the playwriters, CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, central casting. At some point, people are going to have to understand it all. We're in full control. And General Flynn leaves us a message. It says, "How I imagine his rise." Well, and it is likely we will see something like this happen. Not just Charlie Kirk, but a lot of other people too. We talk about it, but no one wants to go there because it's a conspiracy. It's a fantasy. We're watching a movie, and the Great Awakening has a spectacular ending, which is also the beginning for a new world for all of us. So pay attention to what happens. Everything's coming out. It's called the Awakening for a reason. We're now waking up to the truth.
And I do believe that the awakening is happening. And you see the numbers never lie. Look, men can lie to you, women can lie to you, but the numbers cannot lie to you.
So breaking fucking news, Charlie Kirk got shot in the fucking neck. That was the last bastion. I can't be a liberal no fucking more. You see the fucking comments? I hope the gun is okay. The same fucking people asking for moral decency. I cannot in good faith align myself with you guys anymore. I once had a headache. You'll be all right. Because you don't agree with him politically? Okay. Whatever happens next, in retaliation, whoever did that shit, I hope they throw the whole fucking book at you. The whole fucking book at you. Why I did not agree with his views, when you put violence in the fucking middle of the equation, all this shit goes out the window. Everything that you stand for goes out the fucking window. Who's next? Candace Owens? Take that shit as a warning. Stop doing the fucking public panels, bro. Stop doing all that. Oh, what do you think about it? These people are fucking insane. Oh, well, both sides are... No, these people are fucking insane. Dude, things are gonna get very... Do not speak politics at all in public. Do not do that shit. These people are fucking unwell. Protecting fucking dickheads stabbing Ukrainian girls in a bus. Protecting fucking shooters just because they think they're the other gender. You people make me fucking sick.
Man. Hey, salute to BA for that $5. Says shout out to Katie in Georgetown, Texas. Salute to Katie in Georgetown, Texas. I appreciate the $5. Salute. What do y'all think about this, man? This is a crazy ass situation that we ended up in. Well, this is just crazy. I'm gonna get to that one last. Let's continue here.
An announcement.
Let's continue here, guys.
It was made moments ago. Final boarding call. Last flight to Israel, leaving in 15 minutes. After listening to that intercom, a man sent a text message on a burner phone saying, "The job is done. "See you soon," and then threw it in the trash can. As he walks, making his way towards his gate, he passes different various souvenir shops, all with Utah University and Utah State memorabilia and merchandise for sale. He stops and considers for a moment, then chuckles. It'd be better to not have souvenirs. After boarding his flight, he enjoys his ride. A one-way, no stops. The plane finally touching down in Tel Aviv. An unmarked government car, an SUV, a black Escalade, meets him on the runway. A tinted window cracks just barely, and a voice says, "Get in." Getting into the shotgun seat, the passenger side of this Escalade, the man sits. Another man in a business suit sits in the back, tells him, "Do not look backwards." He then adds, "You have done a very good job, and this is for you," as the driver hands him a black duffel bag filled with money. The man sitting shotgun is professional, but you can still see the elation on his face. From the back seat, the man in the business suit then adds, "Sometimes if you want to move the needle, you have to move it yourself." Without hesitation, the man in the driver's seat pulls out a pistol and ends him right there. The driver turns back to the businessman in the back seat. "What do you want me to do with the money?" he says. The businessman replies, "With whatever you want. It's US currency. It'll be worthless in a few weeks. Have fun." As the black Escalade, the government vehicle, begins to pull away, the businessman says one more time, "Sometimes when you want to move the needle, you have to move it yourself." The driver, thinking only to himself, not daring to say it out loud, thinks, Demons are real.
And that is true. They very much so are very real. And they right here on earth. They right here on earth. So let's continue to go down this rabbit hole. And what are your thoughts on some of the? I mean, of course, you're going to say conspiracy on some of this shit, but let's talk about this.
Look at Donald Trump's recent post. He's putting the truth out in plain sight, and he's making it so clear to see. This is now starting to connect all the dots. This one connects the Fed to the Pope to the Vatican to the Rothschilds, and it'd be the Rothschilds that connect us to the gold. The gold destroys the Fed, and it'd be a cycle. But the Rothschilds would connect us to Big Pharma. The Rothschilds would connect us to the corrupt education system. The Rothschilds would connect us to the banking system, and the Rothschilds would then connect us to the royal family. It's all connected. He said if the Fed had followed what we published, they would have raised the rates in early 2021. The entire organization is broken. It needs to be fixed. And in the middle, it says they don't believe that money supply matters. It's like the Pope not believing in Jesus. We think that's a much bigger problem than this notion that they are dependent or they're not independent. But look at that phrase. It's like the Pope not believing in Jesus. Well, this is where it's going to become a reality for a lot of people. The Catholic population of the world is in the billions. It's going to wake up a lot more people. So the Q post says the US Holy See relations. The Holy See is the universal government of the Catholic Church and operates from the Vatican City State, a sovereign independent territory. The Pope is the ruler of both Vatican City State and the Holy See. The Holy See, as the supreme body of government of the Catholic Church, is a sovereign jurisdictional entity under international law. Look, wealth, power, sanctuary against criminal prosecution.
What do y'all think about this, man? I told y'all we're going to get deep down that rabbit hole, man. We got 2,600 votes and only 800 likes on the video. Can everybody double tap that screen? Just double tap your screen and get the likes up on this video. Let's get it to 1,000. Let's go.
That's a recipe for disaster. And then they show us the auditorium in the Vatican. It says the Pope's audience hall looking like a snake pit. That's some sick shit. And you can clearly go and find lots of examples of that building. It also shows us the Pope in a Nazi pin tag with the communist symbol. It says P equals Pope. Pope will be having a terrible May. Those who backed him will be pushed into the light, dark to light. And it's the Rothschilds that back the Pope. List the estimated wealth of religious organizations, billions. Vatican Bank, $229 billion. Board of Superintendents, Supervisory Commission of Cardinals, Clown Connection, 1832 Rothschild Loan 2 the Holy See. So the Rothschilds loan to the Holy See. The next image shows the guardian of the Pope, and it's the image of the owl, which is the Rothschilds. And this is where you can see it's all connected. It says the ultimate win for them is death plus money. The Fed, Rothschilds, conspiracy, conspiracy, conspiracy. And the big choice is yours. Revelations, enough is enough. It's the Rothschilds that own all the banks around the world, or did own the banks. The Fed and the IRS, fact. US Federal Reserve is a privately owned company sitting on its very own patch of land, immune to US laws. Not anymore. And it says, Q, do we have the gold? And Q says, yes, gold shall destroy the Fed. But there's another meaning for gold. Look, the image of the Rothschilds. It says Rothschild photo with covered in gold and Y head symbolism. And it says gold. Gold shall destroy the Fed. So once we find out the truth about the Rothschilds and how it's all connected, it will destroy all those involved. And then it takes us into the big topics that brings the whole world in. Uranium One, Canada, Europe, Asia, Iran, North Korea, the Iran nuclear deal. Look, what does it mean to be covered in gold? Which couple was photographed covered in gold? The public release was a mistake. Who released the picture? Who has all the information? Look, why? What does it mean to be covered in gold? Can you locate one other picture with Y head covered in gold? What does this represent? The NSA released it all, but it represents ancient Egyptians considered gold the skin of the gods, specifically the sun god Ra, and often used it to craft objects of spiritual significance. Why is this relevant? They always thought they were the gods, holding all the money, controlling all the banks, controlling all the government officials, controlling the big pharmaceutical world, making the world sick, and then providing the medicine to keep them on that hamster wheel. It's all connected, and Donald Trump's made it very clear. It's like the Pope not believing in Jesus. We truly are in the Revelations.
We truly are. We at the end of times, y'all. I'm telling y'all, get right with God. Get right with God. This is the time to do it, man. That's all I can tell y'all. This is definitely the time to do it. If you ain't never thought about getting right with him, man, right now might be the perfect damn time. We finna get into this video right here. Let's continue.
Well, they killed Charlie Kirk yesterday. God rest his soul, amazing person. And today, almost all the major historically black colleges have closed because of death threats. So all you got to do if you're the globalist is through IP protected phone numbers, VPNs online. Just call them death threat and say, we're going to kill you because of Charlie Kirk, you N-words. And then the school puts out an alert, we got to leave Charlie Kirk. They're coming to kill us. I mean, this is like so obvious. KVUE. I told you it was coming at the start of the show. I told you for months. I told you they're going to hit black colleges. I said, once they start killing right-wing leaders, populist leaders, they'll then claim that white supremacists, in the name of that person, to connect them to the Republicans in general, even though it makes no sense, are killing migrants and black people. You're like, well, where are a bunch of black people? Black colleges, black churches. And we know the FBI under Biden tried to get, so the ADL, Southern Poverty Law Center, have been caught trying to wind these guys up, particularly Southern Poverty Law Center. So people ask, how do I know this stuff? They go, he must be on the inside, as if the average CIA person knows any of this. No, I know how to track their propaganda. If they say, Trump's coming to kill migrants, the Army's going to mow them down, as a talking point, I go, oh, you're going to have big demonstrations and mow them down, and everybody's pre-programmed. And then they go, and they're going to kill blacks en masse at a black event.
Do y'all agree with Alex Jones? Let me know in the chat. Do y'all agree with Alex? Let me know in the chat.
BET awards or something? I don't know. I'm like, okay, well, black college seems like So people are like, how do I know this? This ain't hard, man. It's deduction, my dear Watson. To quote Sherlock Holmes. So find in the first hour where I said it again, and I said it yesterday. Multiple historically black colleges closed campuses placed under lockdown amid potential threats. So see, Charlie Kirk gets killed in the, Alabama State University, Bethune Cookman University, Clark, Atlanta. Oh, we've got to close. The white supremacists are coming. Hampton University. On and on and on. Virginia State University. The white supremacists are coming, and they're telling him in the Southern University, A&M College. Oh, see, oh God, we killed the white supremacist. Oh, he's not a white supremacist, but the media called him a white supremacist. The white supremacists are mad. They killed the Hitler. They killed the new Hitler, Charlie Kirk, which isn't true. And so now the terrorists are coming. And they open back up in a week or two, and then in comes the drug bomb. That's about 25% chance, 75% chance. Parking garage, football game, 300 shot, 200 dead. And then Soros Media strikes the match and lights the fuse, and the country burns down.
Man, he's speaking some ish. He's speaking.
It's Civil War, the movie.
What y'all think about that? What do y'all think about that? Here's his take on that. Man.
After the assassination of a major Trump supporter figure, I've been predicting this for about a year, then Trump got reelected. They would then assassinate major Trump supporters and then claim white supremacists would attack black colleges. Because they were saying Trump supporters are going to attack black colleges with no proof, no history of it. Well, it's obvious they're a false flag. They're like pre-programming. They've also been saying Trump supporters are going to kill migrants, or the military is. So they're gearing up with the false flag. Well, they killed Charlie Kirk yesterday. God bless this so amazing person. And today, almost all the major historically black colleges, the Trump doubled the funding to, by the way, in his first term, have closed because of death threats. So all you got to do if you're the globalist is through IP protected phone numbers, VPNs online, just call them death threat and say, we're going to kill you because of Charlie Kirk, you N-words. And then the school puts out an alert, we got to leave, Charlie Kirk. They're coming to kill us. I mean, this is like so obvious, so ridiculous. Nobody wants to shoot up black churches or, every time they find some mentally ill person, it happens every once in a while, it's terrible. Some mentally ill person, the FBI wants them to do it. The day before the election, they tried to get a white supremacist to attack a black church, but instead he wouldn't do it, so they had him just try to launch a drone attack on a power station. His leaders, everybody were FBI agents. So this is really bad because I wargamed this out. The only person that did this, I'm not saying like, I'm smart. I mean, it's obvious. And I said, if they start saying black colleges are about to get hit, which they've closed them, all the big ones, Alabama, Texas, everywhere, then you better get ready for the false flag. This is a big, big deal. I talked about it on the show today. I talked about it last week. I talked about it yesterday. I talked about it 6 months ago. People were like, oh yeah, they're going to close black colleges because a Trump supporter gets killed. Know what I'm talking about. I got the enemy's number, folks. They want to have a attempted coup against America, a smokescreen with a race war. The good news is most folks, black or white, are seeing through it, but still, there's some dumb people on both sides. We got to get the word out and stop this. All right. God bless you all. More reports, real life shows on X, Infowars.com, man, video. Thanks so much. Pray for peace. And don't do anything violent with Charlie Kirk. We know you're not. We got to say that because they're about to do stuff violent in his name. Oh, yeah. They got a larger psyop plan. They had a book published the day before confirmed that Charlie Kirk was killed in Utah at that college. New York Times and others, LA Times, ran articles the day before he was killed. Some major psyop. This is some crazy town stuff. People were in the crowd saying, kill Charlie Kirk, kill Charlie Kirk. This is bad. This is real bad. That's what I told you is coming. This is it. But at least they don't have to jump on us. At least we're aware of it. That's why they want me off the air, because I can see through their narratives. Infowars lives, but what happens to the website? Infowars lives, because you live. Freedom lives. Truth lives. The Infowar lives in all of us. The answer 1984 is 17 fucking 6. Like I told the globalists a long time ago. I don't know how all this is going to end, but if you want to fight, you better believe you got one. Every guest.
Now, facts. If you want to fight, you got one now. Trust me. And here's the scene for it all right there. God bless America, right? God bless America. Man. to be young again. What y'all think about that, man? What y'all think about tonight's coverage, man, of this crazy ass event that took place? I mean, RP to Charlie, man. I don't want to see nobody get unalive. I don't like seeing death. I don't want to deal with that part of life. Death, man. Who wants to think about death? Not me. But yeah. Praying for his kids, man. I don't want to. I'm not gonna mock nobody I don't mock the dead, bro. That's just something I got a heart, bro. I don't want to see nobody get hurt. I want to see everybody flourish in life. I want to see everybody do good. But I mean, it doesn't happen like that. The devil is very much alive. So all I can say, man, is stay prayed up, get in your Bibles, man, and get right with God, because we're gonna be on one hell of a ride here in the near future. I do believe here in the next 2 years, life as we know it will change. I think within the next 2 years, life as we know it is going to change forever. So get ready. It's going to be some false flag events, and I think that was one of them. I think that there's going to be a couple more events that's going to take place. There's going to be some mass whoop-de-whoops. There's going to be some mass pew-pews, and they're going to take everybody's blickies away. They're going to take everybody's pew-pews away. They about to come and try to take all the assault rifles. They finna make you defenseless, and then they're gonna do some shit that where you gonna need the shit to defend yourself, but you ain't gonna have it. And they finna come in and swoop everybody, and they gonna definitely do the mark of the beast, martial law, all that good stuff is coming. NWO, all that shit finna be in the mix, man. So y'all just better get ready, because it's gonna be a hell of a ride, man. I'm telling y'all get ready. It's going down here real soon. I don't want it to go down like that. I don't want it to go down like that, but it's definitely gonna go down like that. So what y'all think? What y'all think, man? I think it's definitely gonna happen, man. I think definitely soon. Man. Let's see. Yeah. What do y'all think about tonight's live, man? Hopefully y'all enjoyed the content. I definitely want to put a great show on for y'all. I definitely want to give y'all a great show. Let me see. Nah, that ain't even important. Well, y'all, I think I'm going to leave y'all with that. I think I'm just going to leave it like that, man, and give y'all some great content. We almost at 3 hours. We still got a lot of replay value on this video, so the numbers went up tonight, crazy numbers. We did a great live tonight. So make sure you go back and watch this live. Make sure you double tap the screen and get these likes to 1,000. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We will be going back live tomorrow. I will have some more for y'all. We'll go back down some more rabbit holes. Salute to all my moderators. Salute to all the green team. I appreciate all the subscribers. Salute to everybody, man. If you're a part of Ratchet Gang, you're going to be a part of history, because we're going to change the world over here on this platform, and we're going to wake everybody up one day at a time. So look, this your boy Big Ratchet. That's Ratchet Gang, and this is Ratchet TV. And look, man, I love each and every one of y'all. Get in the comment section after I end this live and let me know what y'all thought. I want to see all my moderators and my green team in that comment section when this video ends. Y'all don't be doing it when I be asking y'all. So I'm going to ask y'all again. When the video ends, get in the comment section for me. As soon as I end this video, get in the comment section and let me know what you thought about tonight's live. Salute to everybody. I appreciate all y'all for pulling up, popping out, showing up and showing out. RIP to Charlie Kirk. Hey, man, God bless America. I'm gone, gang. Salute.